Fucking Baltimore Ravens.
That's one way to start it off, guys.
The pick is in. As you can see, I'm wearing the 4th round 4 right here. That's where we got.
I'm just repping the star today.
Always repping that star.
Because if not, we'd be matching.
That's we could have matched
with our
different color
4th round
schemes, but either way, we're repping star, the good luck charms, the high draft picks, the fourth round day 3 draft picks, all represented right here on your screen. The pick is in. Let's see what the Cowboys pick, guys.
You want me to put the volume up?
Yeah, I mean, I guess not really. There's no need. They don't announce
they're
them.
talking about Charlie Cole.
I'm looking to see when they put that blue screen that says selected.
I know.
That's what I'm looking for, guys. And here it comes.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna close the chat real quick because I don't want.
Yeah,
we're
not looking. But I'm just saying here, and I'm gonna update the draft results right here.
And of course, drop your final predictions. I still am saying it's gonna be a tight end.
I want a tight end, but after Kolar's gone, are they gonna wait for Calcutta or Jalen Wademeyer to the 5th round and grab another guy now? I don't know. The pick came in pretty fast. The Cowboys were ready with a this or a that, I'm assuming. I hope.
It seemed like it was going to be Kolar or whoever else
Kolar,
they had. Kolar.
Kolar was, again, a top guy for the Cowboys. But there's other top guys. There's other top guys for the Cowboys still here, and there's still a couple tight. I still like Jalen Wademeyer over the other, and I forgot, over Calcaterra from SMU. Those would be, I think both guys would be a little early here, but the Cowboys really want a tight end. Calcaterra is in the 5th round. You can wait for him. Wademeyer you want to get now. Outside of that, what other position? I talked about defensive tackle could be an option. I don't know who's really around a defensive tackle. You got, kicker. Mm-hmm. I would not do that now. You got cornerback. You can look here. So you got a couple options here. Maybe even linebacker. I know you love linebacker, baby. So
how it's not, I don't like.
Cheers.
I think we all agree we like linebackers. There's nothing wrong with them. Oh, are they gonna announce it like this?
They're just gonna. I don't know how they do it, baby. They're just gonna show.
No, I just know. I think somebody's actually going up to the podium and
let's see,
saying it.
They're not really showing the. If they do, they don't always. No. They do announce some of them like this, baby. They just don't show them all.
I know.
They're too busy talking about the breakdowns. They don't really care about each person coming up. Here it is.
And
they are going to announce it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they missed the Emmitt Smith one yesterday. I know they had an NFL Network.
Yeah, but they didn't show it.
They missed it on ABC.
Well, let me go ahead and get the volume up then.
Yeah, get it ready. Let's see, guys. 2 ladies coming out on the stage with red shirts. Special Olympics, it looks like. And they're going to represent the Dallas Cowboys here. Cowboys! I'm hyped just because I don't really care. I just want to get this. I want to get our new Cowboy player with that star, and the Cowboy fans are going crazy. This guy looks a little weird, but they're going crazy over there. It's loud because we're proud. We're Dallas Cowboys, baby.
Yeah.
Even a Buccaneer fan was clapping for us. Let's see what we take.
Jake Ferguson, tight end from Wisconsin.
All right.
There we go.
Tight end.
Tight end.
Jake Ferguson.
There you go.
Didn't do much research on him. I don't think he was a visit. But I want to see. I want to see his
we've
numbers.
checked out other players from Wisconsin, though, right? Like we.
Oh yeah, we love Wisconsin.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like maybe it's just probably one of those guys that we didn't really.
He's a set. Let me just talk. I missed the 2020, 2021 All American. He had 46 catches for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Comes from a very athletic football family. All of them were basically football players in college.
So look at his. Okay, let me hear it, baby. I want to hear it. That's why I want it.
He's really an overachiever on the football field. He's got the size of 6'5", 250.
So 6'5", 250.
Not a great athlete, but on the field, catching the football.
How about a blocker?
His hands, his body control, the toughness he shows in terms of run.
This is what they wanted. They wanted to do is deep passing with Dalton Schultz, but he can't do the deep passing. So maybe this guy is a better, deeper, good.
I heard run blocking.
Yep, good run blocker.
That's where he'll struggle a bit, but he's a backup tight end more than likely. You think about Dalton Schultz; they don't need him to be anything more than that right now. A better pass.
I mean, he looks like a little bit like
probably always be that.
A little bit long route runner version of Dalton Schultz.
I was gonna say he looks like a slightly bigger, stronger Dalton Schultz, or what we expected Dalton Schultz to be to Jarwin. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like our expectations for what Schultz was going to do as Jarwin's number 2, I think that's the expectations we can have with him. Except, like you said, a little bit bigger, right? A little bit more of a threat down the field in the way that Schultz just
but again,
hasn't shown as much.
But as we all know, please everybody understand, and Cleveland Brown knows loving this. Probably not loving this, but the point you got to remember about this, he's not there. This guy is not going to take over for Dalton Schultz next year. No. This is not a Dalton Schultz takeover move.
No.
No, I want to make sure people understand. Hey, someone just drafted a punter. The Ravens drafted Penn State's Jordan Stout. Wow, punter. That's the earliest I've ever seen a punter. I've never seen a punter drafted. Like kickers.
Honestly, what
happened to Ariza, who's a punter kicker?
That makes me very happy. You know why? Because it shows me, especially with the kicker move, like special teams has value. We're not saying go out there and draft special teams like crazy or blindly, but if you strategize and prioritize your special teams occasionally,
he's a kicker too. Though.
You get yourself a guy who can do a lot of shit.
Right, he kicks too. He's a kicker and he's a long distance kicker and a punter. So there you go. He's like a kicker specialist.
Just trying to say, like that. That makes me happy because I feel like special teams is always an afterthought. Again, I'm not saying invest first round talent.
Fuck the Ravens.
Goddamn,
because they're killing our picks here. They took Linderbaum after us. They took Travis Jones, who I was high on. They took Falafi, who was a big drop in this. They got 4 picks in this draft, and they picked Kolar. Now they got a punter kicker from Penn State. I'm just saying, like. Ravens rocking it right now. They got a shitload of picks.
Now, Sully said for the 4th pick, Mr. Cowboys family reaction to Dallas picks have all been ho-hum. I mean, like I said, this isn't the Eagles draft. This is not
It's not flashy. It's not flashy.
It's not an attention-grabbing.
It's not a name-filled draft.
Is it doing what it needs to do?
We hope.
On paper, I would say so, in the sense of, like I said, what did I say about the first round? I said, don't trade up. I'd love to see an offensive lineman. Don't do anything stupid. And at least in that regard, like, on paper, the Cowboys gave me that, stupid. Right? Like I said, in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, I would have liked to see.
How do you keep your grade?
I told you, I'm still at a B.
I'm at C. I'm still at a C. It's still just rolling, just trucking along average.
We're not, like I said, we're not. I'm waiting for the pick that makes me go. Or actually, I guess technically, no. I guess Tunsil is technically the
Tunsil,
not Tunsil.
Tolbert.
My goodness, sorry, just too many fucking names right this second.
Tolbert, Houston.
I know, but Jalen Tolbert, he is maybe that pick in the sense of, ooh, he was a steal.
Right,
he was
fell to us
that
value
pick.
And so far, he's that guy.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm kind of hoping that we get another one.
There's no other guy that we haven't made any other value picks other than. Maybe that's my whole humness, right? Mm-hmm. Because where are the value picks so far? Just Tolbert. That's it.
That's why I said that. I'm waiting to see the rest of the value, but I'm assuming because we have all these 5th round picks, that's where we're going to see it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming a lot of these dropping down is going to trickle through. Listen, Ferguson could be a value for the Cowboys the way they see it, but I got to check in more about Ferguson. What his actual number? Because again, he's saying he's coming as a backup. It's almost like we drafted ourselves. Like we could have had ourselves more of a solid producer on that field if we had gotten Kolar, if we had gotten Ruckert. That's all I'm trying to say. This guy is more of a work in progress, which he has room to work with because he's got Dalton Schultz in front of him, which is fine. What I'm trying to say is because of Schultz, we can work him in a little bit differently. It takes a little more time, and because again Schultz is not being replaced. People think that, we're going to replace Schultz. No. And I didn't think that we're going to, maybe with Ruckert, in a couple of years, it might make that change, that baton passing. But I don't think it's going to happen with Jake Ferguson. Yeah. But I could be wrong. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It might take longer with Jake Ferguson, which means you got to keep, you're not moving on from Schultz anytime soon. And the Cowboys better get off their asses after this draft and sign Dalton Schultz to away from that $11 million tag and into a 2 or 3 year deal.
Justin Quarles, the Q man in the house as well.
I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me go ahead and hit up the chat real quick.
And I'm gonna go look for some information quickly on our new Dallas Cowboy.
Let me see. Joe Juarez said, "I'm from Texas, and Dicker is the real deal. He's clutch.
Kicker the Dicker. Listen. Yeah. There's like 4 great kickers in this draft, so." If the Cowboys pick, it'll be in the 5th round, obviously.
Justin Crow said, I hope the defensive tackle John Ridgeway drops to the 5th.
That's the guy. I keep saying this. Ridgeway is the guy I like. But you got to remember, and this is my thing. I put this on myself, too. Even though I like Ridgeway, he's not going to make as much of an impact in year 1. Not going to happen in the year 1. It's going to be maybe more than Bohanna, but it won't be as much as we need.
At this point, anyone on the D-line that we get at this point is not going to be an immediate year 1 player. That's the point. Out of the 1st round, they rarely are. It takes time. You got to put in the work.
Well, as you can see
but
here,
Larry J did say that Jake Ferg is a blocking machine.
See, that's what that's what I care about the most.
Dan said he's an elite blocker. Yes. Shell Jones said that means the defense must be good to go then, right?
We've been good to go, right? We got cornerback, linebacker, defensive tackle. Those are the 3 spots I'd look at most.
That's why I said that Sam Williams, however you feel about the pick, it does do the basic job of helping replace to me, the biggest hole, which is, it's actually two things for me, and I said it. It's not just a Randy Gregory hole. It is the linebacker situation. And again, what does that? It just lets Micah Parsons play at linebacker. Right. That's it. Micah Parsons is a linebacker that can play at linebacker and not just be forced to carry the weight of helping the pass rush game. And that's it.
He still will be involved.
Give us that versatility and flexibility. Of course, he's going to be involved. We're just not going to have to force it.
Correct.
We have options. We have versatility.
And that means
we can rest him.
That means that Parsons, we're trying to save him longevity wise. If you can pass rush him the whole year, he's not going to last the entire season, I don't think, and he wouldn't last. If he's rushing the whole game, anybody will get more tired throughout a game. In a pass rushing situation where it's not his primary job, even though he's fantastic at it. Yeah. So the way you use Micah Parsons is you take the pressure off him with Sam Williams. Now you don't have to have it as much. Sam Williams is going to bring in that Micah feel. He's going to bring in that Randy Gregory feel replacement. But you got Micah now still playing the games he can play with Dan Quinn, using his queen piece on that chessboard, Micah Parsons. You're right. Sam Williams opens that up. You know what else I want to say about cornerback? Because I said you can take a 5th-round cornerback or even a 6th-round cornerback. That's the COVID result of that. I think Bland, the Cowboys might not even draft the cornerback because they have, that COVID pushback. So Bland might have been a 6th-rounder if it was a regular year.
Yeah.
Or a 5th-rounder. So a cornerback, 5th-rounder can be a padded guy at the bottom. That's where Bland. The Cowboys love Bland. They brought him in. So I would not.
Special teams. The Bucs just picked Jake Camarda.
Punter. Jake Camarda.
This draft is.
It's crazy. This is a fucking crazy ass draft.
Just.
My God, another punter off the board.
Israel.
We were making jokes yesterday.
Dan is pointing out. You guys realize that Sam Williams is faster than CeeDee Lamb, right?
Yes. No, I said this today. I said that. I reiterated his speed.
How that's physically possible, I don't know, but continue.
He has issues with hands and technique, and Sam Williams. He has issues with size, right? Compared for an edge rusher, and compared to Micah, he's bigger. Compared to an edge rusher, he's not. But compared to Micah, he's a little slower. He's half a second slower than Micah, and he's a little bigger than Micah. So that's what the Cowboys are looking for: speed, versatility with their playmaking pass rushers. That's what Dan Quinn's about, and using those guys to attack helps the back end. It helps the linebacker. It helps the regular linebackers.
Jerry Bogarty also saying, we can now run, 12 personnel now that we have this tight end. And not just do that, but let's be honest, right? Schultz has done a lot for us, but his blocking was, we thought he was going to be a blocking guy. And his blocking never quite went there, and we didn't think he was going to be much of a passing guy, but it's, awesome,
Listen, Dalton Schultz was drafted.
We still need to find that guy who can block for us, and it sounds like Jake
this is the guy who can. So that makes me happier, because this guy's a block first, pass catch second. And listen, everybody, even the analysts, even the video clips, they want to show you the catching. So they had a couple catches. He's normal looking.
Yeah, he looks like Dalton Schultz. Fun or exciting.
Yeah, but the thing is that he blocks for us. And listen, all he needs to do is just be able to fucking catch the ball. You don't have to do anything special. You just got to be Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, that's how he became what he became. He catches the ball. He was over there just a blocker. He just block.
It sounds so simple. Just catch the ball.
No, but just catch the ball. And Dalton Schultz did that. And look, he got him an $11 million tag. Now, I'm not saying this for the money, but he went from listen, baby, let me remind you, where was Dalton Schultz drafted? What round? Say it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was a 4th-round pick.
Yes, he was.
I was about to say, was he a 5th-round pick? And I'm like, no.
4th-round pick. The same year we were there for that draft with LVE. That's the way he was drafted. Cedric Wilson, Gallup, Connor Williams.
That's the part that for me, I don't know, am I losing track of time or something? Because it does kind of feel like LVE was 10 years ago and 3 days ago at the same time.
Dalton Schultz was not really impactful the first year at all.
No.
And he was really just a blocking kind of second tight end. That's what this guy's going to be, I believe, coming into this thing. He's going to have more of an importance because, to me, he's going to be a guy that, we had Blake Jarwin. Did we have?
We had Witten. We still have, that's what I'm saying.
He retired that earlier that day, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was earlier or the day before he retired. Day 2 of the draft, he retired.
That was the draft where he retired, Cowboys, and we kind of got screwed into. Yeah. No offense to Schultz, just saying that, I don't think that was necessarily
we were going to take Dallas Goedert, and then the Eagles jumped us for that, remember? So we ended up with Dalton Schultz. And what I'm trying to say is that Schultz grew, right? At Stanford, when he was there in college, what did Dalton Schultz do? Do you remember what he did? Receiving-wise? This guy had 3 touchdowns, 450 yards, and a good amount of receptions.
Did Schultz have 6 or something?
He had in his career, he had 40 receptions.
Yeah.
In his career.
It wasn't much.
Yeah.
Is he from Stanford or was it Darwin?
No, he's from Stanford.
He's from Stanford.
I don't think he even had a touchdown. I don't know if he did or not. He was looked upon as a blocker, inline, tight end. That's it. And like to eventually maybe develop into something, which he did. But my point is that is kind of where I'm seeing this guy here. He's caught much more. He's caught more passes, more yards, and more touchdowns than Schultz had in college in his entire career. So Schultz is a blocker. Well, now you've seen Schultz developed into a pass catcher, a great blanket, a student of the tight end game. I guess you could say the basics. He does it all perfectly. But then you got this guy coming in who's a blocker first and a secondary pass catcher, which is what we need. We don't need a primary pass catcher.
So that's
we
why I
have
said,
Dalton Schultz.
On paper, the Dallas Cowboys are filling the gaps, giving us what we need.
I will say this. We've improved at tight end. We've improved at tight end for two reasons. Blake Jarwin was injury prone, and Blake Jarwin couldn't fucking block. Now, we downgraded at the flashy catching at the tight end spot. We don't have the tight end going down the field catching the ball like you have seen with a Jelani Woods that you see out there with some bigger, with like a Darren Walker, what's his name? Darren Waller from the Raiders. To me, those guys, we don't have any guys. Those guys on this team. We have a solid dump down, a smart tight end type guy like Dalton Schultz. And now we got a blocking tight end for the run game. And you go out with 12 personnel. The guy can just turn around and fucking catch the ball, right? That's why, just catch the ball. I don't even go break 8 tackles. I catch the ball and fall down.
Now,
be Jason Witten. I don't know what to say. But block better than Jason Witten.
Question
and that's what he should do. I like this pick.
Last year's draft was very much a defensive-minded draft, and it had a very big
You made the
defensive
call
impact.
This year, baby, because of free agency. You predicted this.
And I know I'm not the only one. Also, I'm not like, it's not like I'm the only person saying this. But one thing I will say, because I'm seeing, the reason I say this is because Jerry Burke already said our next pick is going to be linebacker, guard, and corner. I have a feeling we're going to see...
Kicker's going to be in there. 5th round kicker.
Me. Don't tease me.
Watch. Go ahead.
Stop it.
It's so weird.
So you're not allowed to give me hope like that.
It's in Germany. They're doing a pick, the Chiefs. I think they do have a player there from Germany.
Yeah, someone did a pick in London, and we had a pick in Mexico too.
The Germans don't realize that doing this now is kind of not right.
Why?
Because it's the Indian chop. They stopped that. I think at FSU games, didn't they? Or they tried to. I don't know if they stopped it, but at the Chiefs games they're saying that's racist.
Is it?
I'm just telling you what the woke community is saying. And it's just funny to me that a lot of the... I'm just saying... I don't
have a...
I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's right or wrong.
Okay, somebody let me know. Someone in the
I
chat
thought that the Chiefs said that they were not allowing that anymore. I think FSU still does it, but I don't know if they were allowing it anymore. The Chiefs. I'm just saying that Germany's a little behind, I guess, on the woke times in America, unfortunately. But I don't listen. I'm not going to get into this discussion. We're talking football. I'm going to leave it at that. I just thought it was interesting.
I just that took me way out of...
I try to get you out of your game because I want to talk about Jake Ferguson here.
If you just want to talk, I'll just go get my phone charger.
Go get that phone charger, baby. No, I do want to say that, again, I'm looking up information right now on this guy just to get a little keyed in info. And again, tomorrow we'll have the breakdown of this entire thing, this entire draft. But, we're trying to get you that instant impact kind of thought, information here. But I'm going to do that like this. Watch this, guys. Give me a second. And I'm going to give my face a break. And I'm going to get this research done with... He
got picked, and then the Eagles said, fuck this, he's gone. Let's just go. Because he almost fell. Like, he was right there. So.
Great point. And maybe Woolen being taken is the best thing that could have happened for the someone just I thought it was me.
No, it was me. It was like perfect timing.
It's like, hey, guys, waterfall. Psh.
Micah, you're supposed to have my back, Micah.
Micah has your back. Micah has to help out our new guy here, Sam Williams, when he comes on.
I made it worse. I know. We're working on it.
As our pick, as the Jacksonville Jaguar pick is in.
Yeah, but they haven't officially picked yet.
Man, it's hot in here. So.
The simulation for the draft picks, guys, will be coming up at some point this week, right? Probably.
Yeah, I need a little break, but yeah, it's probably gonna come like Fan Friday. Or next Saturday or Sunday.
As I said, at some point this upcoming week for sure.
I would say weekend.
We'll have...
Don't say week because weekend ain't happening. We have work and life is too much, baby.
Week is like an entire 7 days, not just during the weekdays.
I'm specifying a weekend.
Okay, there you go.
It ain't gonna be before
next
the weekend. Yeah, it ain't gonna be before next weekend. It's just too much. And I am wiped out, guys. I barely slept. As you know, we finished last night, but I had to do a lot of other stuff. Not just
behind the scenes.
Not just for this though, for other things in the house and other things with the family, but yeah, for this too. And so I'm exhausted. I gotta be honest. I haven't eaten. And, I'm not bitching. I'm just, because I can't, it's kind of like, I wake up every...
It's like the games, I know. You woke up today, it's not like you had time to eat.
I wake up for the games, right? And we wake up...
Like the early days.
We wake up early. And, I try to eat something. I eat a little snack or something, like an hour before the game. And then I cannot eat anymore for 4 or 5 hours. That's it. I just my stomach tightens up. It's over. So that's my diet plan. It's the Dallas Cowboys. But the thing is that when it comes to the draft, I'm like... I'm antsy. I want to see what happens.
Most people would not consider drinking because of Jerry Jones a diet plan. Just saying.
No, drinking. Well, yeah,
you know
I know.
What
That's
I'm trying
different.
to say. Most
yeah.
people are driven to drink when the Cowboys are playing. I know that's
I
not quite our particular
I get
style.
anxiety when I deal with the fucking Dallas Cowboys. I get anxiety. But I love my Cowboys, but I get anxiety.
Doesn't surprise me.
I'm trapped. I'm trapped, damn it.
Azteca, we are fingers crossed. We have to see what the schedule looks like. We are just waiting for them to announce the actual dates of the games because we're trying to go to the Jacksonville game with the kids if possible.
Right, but the only way we know, speaking of Jacksonville, they're up to pick.
Yeah.
And now we'll see who they pick.
But it has to fall in our schedule.
But that's in their Wembley Stadium. Are they announcing the? Are they announcing?
Yeah, in London.
No.
Yeah, they're
announcing. I think because I just didn't know if they're announcing like the game they're gonna play there.
Oh no.
Because they're gonna announce that soon. They're gonna announce this is a rollout by the NFL to announce it. So I don't know if they're announcing a game here. They're at Wembley Stadium. This is for their international guy, a running back.
Connor.
Snoop Doggy Dogg. Snoop Connor was taken from Ole Miss, same place as Sam Williams. Running back, though, to Jacksonville. So that is okay. So now I'm thinking, baby, that unless the Cowboys wanted Snoop, I think you were right. I think it was the Eagles wanting to trade down. And, of course, probably Cleveland or somebody, maybe somebody wanted...
Yeah, Jacksonville was fine with it. That's fine. But it's more the fact that I think the Eagles wanted...
Woolen. Yeah.
So Jason Renfro, much love.
Hey, another drop.
He's dropping
much
the
love.
$1 holler.
And again, taking a little chipping away at that overall board with that Go Cowboys. You know the deal. Always know the deal, my man. Jason Renfro, the Cash App King. 10 weeks in a row going for that 1-1. Yeah.
By the way, the Cowboys are on the clock. Real quick, Retro Scotty saying, what other good linebackers, defensive tackles, kickers, and safeties are left out there in the later rounds? So I know that there's still, obviously, kickers. I think there's only been 1 or 2 gone. So like,
they have Dicker, the kicker. I would listen. I would wait to take the last kicker. There's so many good ones. It took the last.
The Cowboys pick is officially in. So let me go ahead and close the chat for now, guys. We'll be, I'll be hopping back in there the second they announce the pick.
Yeah,
I'm Cowboys selection.
Here it is. Oh, they're going to the. Here we go.
They're gonna say it.
Someone wearing the Micah Parsons jersey here. Who the hell is this guy?
Bob Sweeney. He's a Cowboys season ticket holder.
Here it comes. The pick is in.
55th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Dallas Cowboys select Matt Waletzko, tackle, North Dakota.
What did I say? O-line. There we go, guys. Matt Waletzko, offensive tackle from North Dakota.
That's here. 6'7", almost 6'8", 312. Another Josh Ball.
Player for the Fighting Hawks, race 6'7" and a half at 315. Long arms, athletic. Grab the ball effectively because of him.
He's a big guy. You can see how big he is.
Firing off the ball, drives defenders for his size.
Big Polish guy.
Yeah, he stands out.
But again, where is he playing? North Dakota.
Yeah, but...
Man, another mean streak kind of guy. You see that? One arm throwing a guy to the ground just out of anger. We're definitely trying to get this tough attitude. Here's our selection. Let's see what they say.
He has a lot of the technical things already down. Tight hands, good cast sets, good footwork in the run game. He's a mauler. He doesn't have a lot of contact pop, but when he gets his feet running and his hands are tight, he will bury you. He just needs to get stronger, and when he does, this guy could be a problem. He could be a very, very good offensive tackle.
They're literally just saying he needs to get stronger, but his handwork is good, his footwork is good,
Yeah,
the fundamentals.
All the technical stuff is good, which is the opposite of our first round pick. He has not as many technical things down, but he's got the power. But he's missing the power.
Exactly.
Right?
This is more of a, think of it, I hate to say Connor Williams, right? In the set, like, remember, talking expectations. When we got Connor Williams, we thought Connor Williams had the talent and just needed more power. We found out that was not the case. This guy seems to be similar in that type of vein, in the sense of, again, the fundamental basics, the ability, right, seems to be there. We just got to get him more power to continue to see it develop. You know, plus, again, sounds, I'm going to say it one more time, does it sound like a coachable guy to you?
I mean, he's definitely he reminds me of, he reminds me of the guy that was 6'7". We got him here. The big tall guy was an undrafted, I think. And we let him go to the Lions. But you remember what I'm talking about? He was like 6'7", 6'8".
Yes. Oh, shit. What's his name? Starts with an A.
S. Huh?
Doesn't his first name start is Adam?
I don't know. His last name is an S, I think. I thought it started with an S. Either way. His last name. Either way. That's who he reminds me of. Who is this guy? Waletzko?
Waletzko.
I gotta get the right. Let me see. What is the chat saying on this one, baby? They might.
Yeah,
someone's gotta know more about him than we do.
Rack City said, "Getting back to O-line power. I love it." Aztec Aguilar Force said, "Can power, he be better than Ball? Possibly. I think he's just there again. He's not one of. He's not.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like,
though.
He's
Josh
not
Ball,
a Tyler Smith in the sense of Tyler Smith is starting. He's playing. He's doing the thing. He is going to be. I think he is the Tyron Smith is missing a few games replacement. Let's hope Tyron Smith makes it a few games into the season.
Whoa. What happened to Josh Ball?
I don't know. What happened to Josh Ball? Because Josh Ball to me as of now is an enigma. He is like a question mark, a possibility, an expectation.
The Cowboy, he has 3 weeks doing all snaps and reps with the Cowboys in an NFL setting. Now he has an off season. Josh Ball's ahead of this guy, I think. I'm going to say that. So I don't know.
But the Cowboys are clearly hedging their bets, is all I'm saying. Like, they're just adding that extra insurance. And also, like, okay, let me throw it out there because this happened to us already. Tyron Smith gets hurt. He misses a few games. Josh Ball is out there. Like, we still need a backup to the backup. We still need someone there. Like, maybe he's the backup for both times. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be the...
He's next year. He's next year. He ain't for this year. Josh Ball's this year's swing.
Let's hope so.
He's the project for next year.
Look, we lost every offensive lineman. At this point, this dude's going to end up starting, not because we want him to, but because
I'm not getting mad. I'm just, you can't get mad at these picks anymore at this point. No, I'm saying for me, everybody's probably like, what's wrong, MCF?
Like I said, this is the yang to the yang of last year. Last year was defense, offense, defense. And this year it's offense, defense, offense.
Yeah, and we have one defensive player this draft, right?
And Dan, the man with a $2 holler coming through, and he just
Much
said,
love, brother.
Is it just me, or are we going to run more this year?
I mean, again, running has to be a focal point. You have a mauler in Tyler Smith, and the best run blocker in the draft, basically. Only in the run block, because he drops a lot in the pass protection. So we're not protecting Dak better.
Yeah.
But we are going to run the ball more, it seems like.
Well, Jared already did say, we double-dipped the tackle. We're definitely committing to the run. Like,
tackle a guard. Because he's a guard, and he's a mauler as a run-blocking guard. And Tyler Smith. And now we got a tackle, not a guard. This guy's only a tackle who's there to be a backup. He's not going to... Please, no one... He's not starting. He's not going to start.
No. But the philosophy, the point, the type of...
Yes.
What are we trying to establish here? And the point is that we are trying to go back to that offensive line dominance. We're going to try to have the type of depth that got us through, and helped us.
But not for this year. This is depth for next year and years in the future.
Look, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Like, we're trying to make sure that the offensive line is as deep as possible. And guess what? These are the future picks that next year when we go to draft other guys, we don't have to worry about that. We did it this year. We gotta start stacking and layering, because if not, you know what happens? We have to use the first, second, and third round pick on all offensive line.
It also happens if we fail on these picks, like Josh Ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like,
we failed on Connor Williams. That's why we're here.
No, see, I don't think we failed. I think that we didn't get the best we wanted from him, but we didn't fail because he played his 4 years, and he started most of those 4 years. Better for worse. So you got use out of him.
We got use out of him. It's still a failure.
I don't say failure. It was a disappointment.
No.
But it's but baby, that's second rounders. That is the highest percentage of second rounders. You know what they do? Play for 4 years and leave. We got what's supposed to get from Connor Williams.
That to me goes to show that in general it has nothing to do with his position. It has to do with when he was drafted. And again, That's like telling me that, fourth round picks take a while to get their contracts done. Or is it third or fourth round? Which one is it?
Is it the...
I think it's the third round. Yeah, like third round picks take a while to get their contracts done. It's like, yeah, because that's the kind of weird, complicated draft position that always has to be like, finagled a certain way. Like that to me just goes to show, Connor Williams is even more of a failure, if anything. Right? The only reason we kept him and had him there is because we invested it's a sunk cost fallacy. We invested too much. We had him slated there, but if everything had gone the way the Cowboys intended, we would have signed him again. We would have, the Cowboys didn't sign him and bring him in to get rid of him in 4 years. Like, they wanted someone that they could sign long term. They're trying to build that consistent, solid offensive line, and he just never made it.
I hear you, but do you build an offensive line with, and we talked about this in the past, maybe, do you build an offensive line with fifth rounders? See, that's my issue.
I mean, we're literally building it now with an undrafted guy.
No, no. We're trying to build it. I don't think we built shit yet because Josh Ball's not. We don't know anything about him yet. Listen, Biadasz has got his issues that people complain about.
I don't know. I'm talking about what's his face, Terrence Steele.
Terrence Steele's undrafted. But I'm just,
and the Cowboys just replaced La'el Collins with him.
Do you remember when we? Again, I know the 90s, we can live off of that, and those were throwaways, right? Okay. But this is more in the same vein as these are like a lot of lower picks that we're adding to eventually be starters on an offensive line. What is the thing that we do, the last decade plus with our offensive line that we've built, and I know we all can agree, we all think Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, and Travis Frederick, when they were healthy and in the game, they were the best. They were the best of the best. So my point is, these three guys were fifth rounders, second rounders, undrafteds? No. They were all first rounders.
I know. But, okay, we drafted Joe Looney, right?
No.
No?
He was from Tennessee. He was a free agent.
There we go.
Just free agent. Just saying, like, nobody else here.
All right, so I'm just trying to say that I don't think the Cowboys are going, like, I never thought the Cowboys were trying to get a starter. I think the Cowboys are trying to get,
At what position?
O-line when it comes to now.
Guard. We need guard. Conor McGovern.
I know we need a guard. That's what Tyler Smith is there to do.
I know that. I'm just trying to say that.
Fuck?
Well, okay. My point is Tyler Smith.
But we still need backups. We still need, the Cowboys still need someone to go and play when that guy can't play. And that's who the Cowboys are trying to get. And those guys are lifers.
The guy
this dude's going to be here for 10 years as a backup for Dallas if he wants to be.
No way. But the thing is that Conor McGovern,
my point still
Conor McGovern might be a lifer as a backup because he had a shot. We know
when he was not drafted to be one. He was drafted to be a starter.
Correct.
And he ended up as a backup. We drafted a backup to be a backup who will probably stay a backup.
And that's what I'm trying to say. That's a bigger fail than Connor Williams, who was a starter for 4 years. And what I'm trying to say is, Connor Williams was not a first round pick. A second round pick. And so what I'm trying to say, first round picks must be lifers in a starting way.
So
and that
Tyler
means
Smith
Tyler Smith, high expectation.
He's
He's a high expectation. I don't care where he comes. I don't care the way he needs to develop. Cowboys pick you in the first round with Will McClay. You better produce on the field. Joe Philbin, he don't like footwork. You better get footwork in your repertoire because this guy don't have footwork. So he's got power. He's got mauler abilities. He's fantastic upside, but you still got to work with him as a first round pick. And that's fine. Let's work with them. But don't give me no excuses, Cowboy Nation or Cowboy fans, Cowboy family, or fucking the offensive line coach, Joe Philbin. Because at this point, he cannot be a 4-year guy and go. Because then that's a failure. That's a true failure. Connor Williams was second-round lineman who could say sort of a failure. But we've never picked well after the first round at lineman. And that's what I'm trying to say. Look who we picked now. I'm not even going at him. I'm saying he could be a perennial
if the Cowboys,
tackle backup. But
you said it yourself. They never picked well after the first round when they tried to have them be starters. We did not draft no one we drafted after the first round.
So we picked up a swing tackle?
We picked up depth. That's it. That's what I'm saying. No more, no less. Don't look into it more than it needs to be. You're right. I don't think he's going to, like you said, I don't think he's going to replace Josh Ball, but he's there to give him a little bit of healthy competition.
Initially, you said...
Because I'm seeing him as depth
no,
again.
You don't know. You don't know what I'm saying. Initially, you said he's the takeover for Tyron Smith. Eventually,
as the backup, backing him up there.
You didn't make that clear. You said the takeover for him to eventually be the starter there.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about not this year. I'm talking about 2 years.
That's you starting to assume.
Okay, maybe
shit now.
I'm saying that you made it very easily assumed.
Nope.
You did. But the point is this: is that all I'm trying to say is that whether you drafted a guy in the first 5th round pick that you got for Amari Cooper, by the way. and you use this pick for a perennial backup. That's where I don't get it. Yes, they're saying it too. He has the potential to be a starter. But is that where Jerry Jones will say he will be a future starter? He's going to be the takeover for Tyron Smith.
Hey, Jerry says everyone's a future starter. He's definitely not going to say.
What do you think the fan base is going to say, baby, when he says that? 90% of the fan base. I'm just telling you what's going to be dealt with, and that's what the expectation is laid upon him by the Joneses, and that's what it becomes. It becomes the reality that they get sold to us that he's the next Tyron Smith eventually. Josh Ball's the next Tyron Smith replacement eventually. We don't know what Josh Ball can do. We don't know what this guy can do, and hopefully they can be. But you look at our track record, none of these guys have become, full-time starters past the 4 years.
Perspective, just saying, because Josh Ball is the Tyron Smith replacement. Is he gonna be at that level? I don't fucking know. But is he he is the guy. He's the guy that the Dallas Cowboys have selected as the person who's going to step into his shoes. So he's the challenger
with Josh Ball to now fight for that Tyron Smith spot.
Oh my God, I can't remember his name, okay? I don't
Waletzko.
care at this point. Waletzko,
my point is
Waletzko is there, yes. He's not there to replace Tyron Smith. He's there to replace
challenge
Josh Ball as the eventual backup. And this is the reason I say this.
Bad drafting. In my opinion,
baby, the Cowboys are drafting for today and tomorrow. Like this is the one of the biggest future picks in the sense of you're right. He's not going to really do anything for us right this second. He hopefully doesn't have to, because if we see Waletzko, that means that Tyron Smith went down and Josh Ball went down.
No, Josh Ball could just suck. So either way, it could be either way. It could be one or the other.
As of now, I'm not putting suckage on Josh Ball, because if he sucks,
no, neither am I.
We're gonna.
I'm saying they're both.
We have seen so little from him. We're going to see him sucking in an active way. And we're not, you get what I'm saying? It's going to be live and in action.
My point is, if he sucks, if his suckage is 2 games in a row suckage, you're going to see suckage from the guy with Waletzko. We're going to see him in the game, is my point. So it's either injury or bad play by Josh Ball. And, of course, we know it's injury only from
Also, throwing
Smith.
this out there, too, now that Terrence Steele is the starter, I'm just saying, Waletzko is going to be doing double duty, because I think they're trying to turn him into oh my God, who is the guy behind? I know that. God damn it, I'm thinking of the same guy you're thinking of. The guy who is no longer on the team. His name starts with an S. He was the offensive lineman who just kind of
Went to the Lions. No one knows. I'll look it up.
Fuck you. Please look him up. But that's what I'm saying. He's going to fill that role.
That role was getting cut, by the way, for the Cowboys. He got cut.
Well, then this guy, look.
I'm just saying that's the role he filled, was being released before the end of the training camp.
Okay, so then there you go. The Cowboys are just trying to give themselves options and do what they can at depth. And honestly, this guy's probably going to end up still somehow he's going to end up staying on this team, because the Cowboys just value their offensive line too much. I see Jerry Bogerty
making a point that that Josh Ball is more of Terrence Steele's backup, which, again, to me is still a huge chance.
Here's the thing, though. We know Tyron Smith is going to miss games. We know that for a fact.
But if we're banking on Waletzko taking in... And again,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not.
Well, then we're banking on Josh Ball.
We're banking on Josh Ball, but we knew that from last year. We would have seen Josh Ball last year doing something.
No, he wouldn't. Well, okay. Okay, you're right. We're doing something in practice, maybe, but they had Inseki.
We had so many guys get hurt. I'm not saying we would have seen anything significant. I'm just saying that we would have had a better idea of what Josh Ball. There we go.
That's his name.
Dan Skipper. There was somebody else too.
Dan Skipper was signed. Dan Skipper was the guy who was 6'9" or some shit, but not as Mauler-like. He was undrafted, and he went to the Lions and actually made it there for a little bit. But that was the name. Sorry to interrupt. I had to.
No. I needed that.
Dan Skipper. Pretty sure that's his name. From the Lions. That was an undrafted player we got, and then we let him go. But he was the tallest official, I think, NFL player in history. I think he is, or was, for any team, and I think he still is that. But
this is the Cowboys version of throwing something to the wall and seeing what sticks when it comes to O-line. No more, no less. Right. I'm not sitting here and, again, Jerry's gonna, if you sit here and go off of everything that Jerry's saying, that's what I thought that we were here to do, to see past the Cowboys bullshit to the reality. Jerry is every single one of these guys is the number one pick to Jerry. Realistically speaking, we know they're not. We know a handful of these guys aren't going to produce. We're trying to figure out, okay, if the Cowboys are drafting these guys, where do they see their weakness at? And I'm sorry, Dallas doing this just means to me they want more depth at O-line. It doesn't mean Josh Ball is starting. It doesn't mean anything more than we need depth. For this year, for next year, for yesterday, for today, for tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it needs to be more than that. But the way it ends up being more than that is injuries. But we can't control injuries. I just get bothered because, like I said, we go into the season knowing what we know about Tyron Smith. And that's where I start kind of thinking, like, all right, what are the Cowboys anticipating? They anticipate Tyron Smith still playing another year or two based off their comments. But that still means they're anticipating him missing a few games. And you can't not have a plan for that.
Well, I agree. I agree with that, but maybe
especially because the plan used to be Terrence Steele, and that's not the plan anymore.
The plan, that's the Cowboys' self-made destruction. But my point
and this is the Cowboys again. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or whatever. Right. I'm just saying this goes into their plan.
I'm being pessimistic. You're being optimistic. That's all.
I wouldn't say optimistic. I would consider myself more neutral. I see what they're doing. That's all. Like I'm just not writing it off before I see it because, like I said,
I'm not writing it off either. We
got to see something from Josh Ball first.
I'm not writing it off. But my issue is this.
Yes, you are. You just said it. You're being pessimistic. There's nothing wrong with that.
Pessimistic is not writing it off.
You're expecting negative things. I'm not expecting anything yet. That's the difference.
Okay, let me explain it better then, so you can understand me. But I'm being real. I'm being realistic.
Wrong.
And that's maybe pessimistic. But my question is simple. After we got rid of La'el Collins, we had 3 tackle starting abilities. Now we have, again, 3 possible starting ability tackles. And I say possible because of Terrence Steele. Now we have that Terrence Steele as our starter, which I'm not 100% sold on like a lot of you guys are. But I'm not 100% sold on him. He's now a starter, which I believe we've gotten worse there. And a little bit, but still gotten worse. And now we've gotten really worse as our swing tackle spot. I'm not saying Terrence Steele was the best swing tackle, especially on the left side. But he was a perfect, he picks up in a game, you don't lose anything. Now we lose a lot of any of these guys. If the
Cowboys get a special teams player here, it's going to be an A+ draft for me. I don't care. I don't care.
We still have 3 picks. One of these 3 picks will be special teams. How's that for you? So
I want it to be this one.
Okay.
Because I said so.
Maybe it is.
I hope it is for your sake. I'm having fun. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Well, you're definitely a Dallas Cowboy fan when it comes to the special teams side of things. You love the special teams. A little too much. But anyways, that's fine. That's your thing. My thing is realism. I don't try
to pretend otherwise. That's what Jerry fails to do. Jerry is a fan who thinks he's not a fan.
Yeah, he thinks
Jerry, you are a fan. It's okay to let your heart decide sometimes. But the problem is you run the fucking team. That's the difference.
And his decisions are the ones that are the final ones. The thing I'm trying to... look. Using a 4th round Josh Ball and a 5th round Waletzko, I don't think is the answer to our offensive tackle situation, even if it is a backup, even if it is our swing tackle, even if it is, even most deadly, the starter when Tyron Smith goes down. To me, this is not good. And I'm sorry, doubt me, yell at me, all the fuck you want. This is the truth, because don't tell me you've seen Josh Ball dominate, because you didn't. Don't tell me you've seen Waletzko dominate, because you didn't. Neither guy's played an NFL snap, and this is who's behind Tyron Smith. I'm not, and again, you can say, what's his name? Now I can't hit the Tyron's wrong now, because now we got the other Smith, the rookie, Tyler Smith. He can play left tackle. And he'll get snaps there.
We got to color code them.
Maybe he is the actual swing tackle. Then what do we do at guard? McGovern? Now we got a huge hole there. You guys know how that works. So, look, I'm just trying to say, if you're going to grab somebody, we'll grab a guard, I would say. Not grab a tackle. But look, either way, in will we trust. In will we trust. Will McClay, and I'm trusting him to present the right guys to the fucking retarded fucking front office and to sometimes iffy consultations when it comes to position coaches. I'm not Dan Quinn. You refer to him, you get you a guy who's gonna get the best out of him, like a Sam Williams. We might not love that pick of Sam Williams. A lot of you guys don't love it. Dan Quinn will make you love it because he knows what to do with him. On offense, I got a lot of fear with the way we're gonna use some of these talents that you see sold to us by the Joneses after this draft today. And I'm not saying they're not good or can't be good, but just don't think they're great, baby. Don't think that these guys are going to become the starters eventually, or these guys are going to bank on these guys to be the starter for 6 games. Josh Ball or Waletzko, they might be good, but they're not that good is my point. And that's where we get sold the bullshit by the front office. Now, will the Cowboys pick up a free agent tackle or make a trade for one? Do something like that now after maybe free agent tackle, maybe a trade. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But outside of that, I mean, it looks like we are good now with the offensive line. We got a lot of talent that is underdeveloped and unknown. And even when they get known, they ain't gonna be, balling out. Mm-hmm. Just saying. And that's I can't hold back on that. Even though I like the draft, it's still a C to me. It's all right. I'm not in love with it, but it's all right. It's good. But you gotta ask these questions, and if you're not, then you're fooling yourself. If you're fooling yourself and thinking that Josh Ball is going to be he's going to do enough to come in for Tyron Smith, we are fools, in my opinion. And the fifth rounder ain't answering that question, in my opinion, respectfully. I'm just saying, so you got take over. I want to hear what the chat says, whatever. But that's my 2 cents. I see the J. Lou 2 from Clark Kent.
Much love, Clark Kent, with that $2 holler. You know what he said?
What did he say?
Dallas is low-key rebuilding, bro. Mike McCarthy is deuces.
Maybe they are rebuilding, but the point is still the same. You're rebuilding, and this is what you're rebuilding with guys that you failed when you've picked in later rounds at certain positions. So we're gonna fail again. That's all. Again, and the expectation for Tyler Smith is it's got to be matched with the last 3 offensive linemen we picked in the first round. Got to give it the same. You got to give those that gave it that gusto. Got to give it the same gusto. And if he does do that, then I'm all then that's again the genius of Will McClay. I'll leave it at that. That just proves more points on Will McClay and being able to find these guys for the coaches to make that decision. And Joe Philbin will get credit as well if this ends up being a Zach Martin, a Travis Frederick, a Tyron Smith pick. That's what it's supposed to be when you pick the first round and you're a Cowboy. Remember that. So let's not lay off. Oh, well, give him 5 years to figure it out. He's got to do it now. That's what he's here for. First round guard for the Cowboys, you got to be a dominating player. 5th round, you got Josh Ball. You got Waletzko. And you're going to see, and you got Biadish, which a lot of you guys can't fucking stand. We got him in the 4th round. And Connor Williams, 2nd round, gone. Badass. He ain't going to be a badass in 2 years when he's gone. I'm just being truthful here. But we can play games and just hope that the Cowboys know always what they're doing. They don't seem to know what they're doing the last 26 years. You going to trust them now? And that's just general. I'm not even going at these specific picks because it ain't about that. It's about the overview of this team. And you guys are saying if we're rebuilding, we're probably doing a bad job of rebuilding. You can take your 2 cents. Maybe you seem like you're shocked.
No, just.
But Matt Waletzko, go ahead.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Yeah, I'm here because I will get fined. Matt Waletzko was drafted with pick again in round 5 with pick 155 overall. He scored. Listen to this, guys. He scored a 9.96 when it comes to the athletic scale with the scoring from there, guys, and. This ranked him since 1987 to 2022. I'm sorry. He was the 6th highest ranked tight end athletically in the last 35 years out of 1,218 tight ends. So at least athletically, he's not necessarily the best blocker when it comes to. Not blocker, but he's not the most doesn't have the power that he's going to need to develop in the NFL yet. But Matt Waletzko. And I said tight end. Tackle-wise, the 6th most athletic tackle in the last 35 years, athletically speaking. And I see the man, Mark Hospian.
You already know it.
With the 5 on it. $5 holla. The man who's going for that 9 in a row. He's the leader above, and he's dominating.
No, he just said,
what did Mark say?
Jerry Jones is just thinking players will fall to us. When they do, he grabs a question mark player. A bunch of tight ends were there for us, and they're all gone now. Clown show.
But we drafted a tight end. He does know that, right?
I think he's talking about the tight ends that got drafted before we drafted.
Jelani, Cade Otton taken right before. We had a couple, guys that we talked about. They were taken in the 3rd round. Ruckert was a guy I was looking at instead of the receiver. I understand the receiver pick though. I go back. I understand the reasoning behind that. There was depth at tight end. Instead of using the 5th round pick to help move up to get the guy you want. At tight end, we just accepted the 3rd choice of our 3. right? Because we know that Auden was one of the main ones there. We saw Collar go off right before us with Baltimore, and those guys the Cowboys liked. They had him in the 30s, 30 visit guys. So we settled for Ferguson. That's what the Cowboys are doing. That's why I'm saying Waletzko, don't get all overly hyped. He's just a settle pick for the Cowboys.
Asezi Otomeu,
defensive edge from Minnesota.
The reason I say that too is because I know pretty much everyone's saying linebacker here would be a fantastic.
There's still a guy that's highly ranked that's not been picked yet, which is
crazy.
I
think is it Retro Scotty? I think brought him up. Retro, give me a second. Damon Clark?
No,
is
not
that
him. No. Let me see. Hold on. I'll tell you right now. Let me give it a minute. I think he might still be the best.
I keep saying Dicker the kicker. Hey, oh man, that was a really loud elbow.
Snap, crack, and roll there.
Oh man, I know Weezer's playing right now. All I can think of is the sweater song. If you want to destroy my sweater.
I think he might have been drafted.
Oh.
The guy was drafted.
I have to admit, Weezer reminds me of high school.
Beavers is still there. A lot of you guys liked him, right? From Cincinnati. Darian Beavers. I remember because we said Beavers and we said Cox, right? So that was the whole funny kind of joke. But Darian Beavers is definitely an option. He is 6'4", 237. We're going to pick here in the next pick, guys. So we're coming right up here. But that's at the linebacker spot. Right now, the overall rated guys is outside linebacker JoJo Damone from Nebraska, formerly from Randy Gregory's.
Ridgeway is still there. Yes, I know Justin Crow's brought him up saying, I'd love to get him in the 5th round.
Yeah, John Ridgeway is there, and he's the guy that one of these picks now, that's just one of those picks. If you could get this pick, you can flip it. You can flip Ridgeway with Waletzko or something like this. You know what I mean? And speaking of Waletzko, I did want to say there was an interesting little comment about him from ESPN. I wanted to kind of go over it real quick and read it. Give me a moment here. Here it is.
I want to know what the wrestler to football crossover is, because there seems to be a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean,
lots of wrestlers seem to play football.
When you wrestle, and not play football, but offensive lineman, because you're wrestling. Wrestling is offensive line. It's leverage, technique, all that stuff. So Waletzko is, according to ESPN, guys, a tall offensive tackle with rare length and good range with that arm length as well, right? He gets good initial push. They say basically, kind of like a phone booth kind of formation. He knocks around defenders on combination blocks. So he's combining blocks with double teaming. He'll knock a guy in his ass and go to the next level. High center of gravity, though, and falls off blocks late. So he sticks with the block too long. Again, he has long arms.
We know we're getting the 5th round.
I know. Yeah. I'm just making it. I'm breaking them down. He has the long arms to take away the edge. So that's a good thing there. Flashes a powerful punch. We've seen that in the highlights. In pass protection, he's very good with knocking people around. Like with the arms, just bang, 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 knocking guys around. So that's really good there.
Tyson Anderson, safety from Toledo to the Bengals, and the Cowboys are on the clock.
Just want to
let you know.
Yep, and again, foot speed and balance to take away inside moves. When footwork, again, his footwork is sound, technique is sound. You see the difference, but doesn't have the power. Has the punch, not the power. Technique is good. So again,
I got the power.
And you're looking at someone like Tyler Smith, who has got to form technique better, got to get the footwork better. This guy's got it all on that side. But what does Waletzko doesn't have? Power. That's the one thing that is dominating, a dominating factor for Tyler Smith and in the running game. Unbelievable in the running game when it comes to Tyler Smith. Matt Waletzko is more of a pass protection guy, a pulling outside tackle kind of guy. Doesn't really, do well getting off blocks and that kind of stuff. So, a guy going to be worked on. I'm not going to overhype. I will not do that. But again, to me, a different version of Josh Ball. So, like you said, throw him in the pit and let the best man win, I guess you can say. So
and that was all I was saying. Just manage your expectations. You're right. If Dallas had drafted him and Jerry comes on and says he's our starting tackle or some shit, then yes, guess what? We have every right to bitch to the ends of the earth. Okay?
Oh, is that Mark?
Yes, that is Mark with the $2 holler. Much
love. I saw that.
Mahalo to you, Mark. And he said with that $2 holler, Damon Clark, is that the good linebacker? He is ranked pretty high.
The linebacker. I'm looking here right now.
Go ahead and look him up.
Damon Clark. Yeah, no, he's still he was in the one. I think the guy I was looking at was off the board. He had a name I couldn't pronounce. That's why I know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
he's not there anymore then.
Yeah, he's not there. So definitely not. But I'm looking here because the Cowboys about to draft here. We're bringing somebody out. Someone on that stage talking?
Yeah, isn't it Isaac Alarcon? Oh, I guess it should have. I thought Isaac
177. 177. Is this 177?
No, they're not even mentioning it. DaRon Bland, guys, cornerback from Fresno State. Corner.
I called that one.
There you go. You did.
Baby, that's the one I call. That's the only cornerback I've been talking about this entire draft.
I know.
DaRon Bland from Fresno State.
There you go.
The thing I don't like, and again, guys, I can listen. I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead.
Listen well.
Listen well, all of you.
He's the 30-day visit guy.
Okay.
I know a lot about him because I did a little research already. But he was supposed to be an undrafted. So, am I happy about the player? I like the player. But am I happy about the pick? No.
Well, okay.
Okay,
leave
at that.
That's fine.
I'm allowed my voice.
We don't know who was targeting this guy.
Okay, this could be a Dan Quinn.
In the sense of, like, you said it, though, in the sense of, like, you knew the Cowboys were
it's not a
interested in him.
surprise.
You knew they liked him.
It's a surprise I got him too early. Usually your last 5th round pick, your 6th round pick on him.
Maybe
other guys might have been after him.
What if Kelvin Joseph had something to do with this? Just throwing it out there. Just say.
Are we taking a risk with Bland? Is he that guy?
Is the bigger risk not like the Cowboys saw it? Again, breaking it down Cowboys style. The Cowboys looked at this. He was worth picking now. Like, honestly, we have 5th round picks to spare, and I think that had more to do with it than anything else, right? They were not going to miss out on the chance of adding some cornerback depth to the team that they felt they desperately needed. Considering the Kelvin Joseph situation, I feel like it behooves the Cowboys to just, make sure that they have layers to this. But more than that, again, if they like the guy and they have picks to spare, right?
I disagree.
Just saying.
That's bad management. Get him later when you have to spare a fucking pick. Get him later when you can get him in the 5th round, the end of the 5th round, the 6th round. That's all I'm saying. It's bad management by the front office once again. Oh, there he is. Virginia Tech, Amare Barno was the guy that they were showing.
Oh, Regier Productions just said, y'all getting my guy from Fresno State. I love the pick. You're getting a stud.
Listen, I like the player. I love the player. Could we have got him in the end of the 5th or the 6th? Yes. That's all I'm saying. The answer is yes, 100% yes on this. Trust me. 100% yes. But I'm not here to argue. I'm here to just state my facts.
This is the only thing I'll say, and actually, I am going to agree with Mark here.
Mark dropping
that $2
adding a
little asterisk to that $2
you just love this pick, didn't you? I'm just saying, like you said, this is the one the Cowboys like to make the move here. But Mark is agreeing with me. Clown show move. I like the player. Please understand, this guy from Fresno State is a guy I've been talking about for weeks. I just said he's a late round guy, and I don't mean 5th round. I mean 6th, 7th, or undrafted. And that's just the way. Now, would he have been picked by somebody else? Maybe.
The Cowboys had him valued higher.
Right, they're taking the best players that they want. They're not taking the best players for the position of need. They're taking the best players that they want. I like this guy. The reason why I would give a bad draft grade is not because of the guy. It's because of where we picked the guy. That's all I'm going to say.
We're saying, they had that pick ranked at 121.
Who did? Who?
Daniel Jeremiah said that he had him.
So again, the board the Cowboys are using is similar to Daniel Jeremiah's board. Let's just say put it like that, because almost every single. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying that almost every other board had him, at the undrafted levels. And I believe you can go back a couple weeks and I said he should not be an undrafted. I think he's a 6th rounder, a 7th rounder. You can see him. The Cowboys using our last pick on someone like him or going undrafted.
Rugler also had him as a late 4th round pick. So if you want to go off of someone with a little more weight or heft in your opinion.
Then why is he still there if it's the end of the 5th round? I guess they were not all accurate.
Got a deal?
They also put, he also put Dane Brulger had Tyler Smith at like fucking 50th. So what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like all right, so then you can't pick and choose. You got to go across the board.
Well, reading Mark Hospian, he said another Nashawn Wright clown show.
I don't think it's that bad of a pickup. I think this guy's good. But again, I think we could have picked him up later. That's all I'm saying. The fact that we could have picked him up later is all I am saying. I don't care what these. If he was 122, he would have picked 50 fucking picks ago.
So now let me read the chat. We have a variety of opinions.
I want to hear it. I love it. Let's go.
Jared Bogarty said Jerry likes his bargains. Q-Go said we should have just taken Dean yesterday. Sully said I'm with Mister. This has been a Cowboys draft strategy for years. Take a player in later rounds, then higher rounds.
They just pick the guy they want, right? Exactly.
Q-Ghost is saying that Daniel Jeremiah is sharp. Like he's
good. Him and Bolger are guys you trust. So I like that they give him a higher rating, but most teams are like, he's wrong on. They're still wrong on some guys, right? Just want to say, okay, go ahead.
So Toby was saying, how would you know if if they would have been there in a later round? So Cat 52 cracking up. He said, MCF just hates this draft. He just hates all of them.
I'm so pessimistic. And I'm not trying to be. I want to be more optimistic. I'm just saying,
now, Clark Kent, I'll disagree with you on that because I've written off Nashawn Wright. I hope we can make something out of it, but I don't see that happening.
I mean, I'm not writing off Nashawn Wright at all. I'm just saying he's not. He's a guy we could. Nashawn Wright.
I'll admit it. I wrote.
No, I'm not doing that. I don't do that because he has potential. But my point is, as far as drafting him, when we drafted him, he would have been there in the 4th fucking round. Yeah. Now we got lucky. We got Jabril Cox.
Now Q goes. I think this is the better way of thinking of it, baby.
There's Ridgeway.
Q goes said you can't hope that a cat will go undrafted at this point. If you like a dude, just get him
in the 6th round.
We only have the one,
baby. We have 3 more. We had 3 picks. We had 3 picks after this one.
Okay,
no, one of those 3 picks.
So there you go. The Cowboys said we have all these picks. He could have fallen at any 4 of them, and we don't want him to. We don't want him to.
On their wackadoodle board, whether it's right or wrong, they have him higher than the other ones. That's all, and that's it. And I'm just saying, I don't love the pick our guy no matter what first. That's what I think the Cowboys are doing. They're saying we're going to pick the ones we like, the top 30 guys.
Larry J said that there's rumors that it looks like Green Bay was about to grab him.
There's rumors. Really I want to see proof of that. I can bring you rumors too that no one was going to grab him into the undrafted.
Jacob, I didn't see that. That's kind of funny. He said, y'all see that Dallas reporter who tweeted that he'd retire if they picked Smith?
No, I did not. No.
That's funny. You gotta hopefully if you're not.
I do actually remember that on Twitter. Someone said they run around naked in their neighborhood. There was so many different things that these analysts said they would do if the Cowboys picked Tyler Smith. Let's see if they do it. But I'm just saying.
I'm just glad I didn't say any of that.
Donald Bland was more like a 6th, 7th undrafted type of guy. I understand you like him, you grab him, but grab him in your the end of the 5th round. The end, not the middle where you have, again, but the Cowboys like them more than the other picks, and that is about them getting the guys they want. So that's it. They went and got the guy they want. I'm not agreeing with the order of doing it, and that's never going to change.
A $5 holler.
Much love, the man, Mark.
Said any player can turn into a good one.
Of course.
But when the consensus is a free agent or 7th rounder by most publications, and then we draft them significantly higher, it's a clown show.
This guy has to now be, the expectation has grown for DaRon Bland. And hey, I listen, my goodness, I wish I could be happier about this. I love the player, but I just don't love the way this is managed. And you guys can accept it. I will not accept it.
It's kind of like
I will never accept it.
It's similar to what you said about the 2nd and 3rd round picks in the sense of a lot of people might feel a little differently if we had flipped the order of the picks and they would have been like, oh yeah, that's awesome, that's great. But since we got Sam Williams first, right, and then Jalen, people look at it and say like, But realistically speaking, I have to go back and say it though. The Cowboys did make the right call there, clearly, because Jalen was still there.
Well, they're always
he was still technically there.
Just remember one thing, though.
I'm not saying they won the entire draft. I'm just saying that you can't deny that they were right about that.
They're always going to be right. Do you know why? Because they're the ones that are telling us what they're doing behind the scenes, and we don't really know. I don't care if it's Will McClay and he agrees. I don't care. They're all in cahoots, guys. This is not brain surgery.
That's why we can only assume so much.
Assume that they're lying first. Assume that they're lying first. First, assume...
that's every team.
No, I don't care about other teams. Assume this team, we know they lie first. Assume that, and then assume the other shit.
Okay, we know the pie is a lie.
We know that's a fact.
I know, I had to
I know, that's a fact. But no, assume it's a lie first from the fucking front office, and then look into things. Mm-hmm. That's the way you got to be with this team. If you haven't learned yet, guys, well, you'll learn.
Jacob, I think isn't that just his name?
Who?
Like, if that's his last name, he can't help his last name. Tunsil, right? Jalen Tunsil, right?
No, baby, it's not Tunsil.
Okay, so then...
Tolbert.
Sorry, because Jacob said someone who names themselves Tunsil has no credibility. Sorry. And I'm just as I was confused, I'm like...
That's nothing to do with us, right?
I'm like, isn't that just his last name? Like...
That's the Texans,
Tolbert.
baby.
Tolbert.
Tony Tolbert. I'm going to say Tony Tolbert.
God, no, then I'll call him Tony Tolbert. God damn it, stop
Jalen is a popular name of this time frame. Tony was much more normal back then. So
in my head, I know who I'm talking about, okay? Tolbert. You guys just assume who the fuck I'm talking about based on the closest associate.
She's yelling in my goddamn ear.
You know what's going to happen this season, right? I'm just going to call all the offensive linemen Tyler Tyron. I can't fuck it up that way.
Tyron Terrace.
I'm just saying, the T1.
The T crew.
T1 over here is doing this. T number 2 is like, oh my God. I'm going to embarrass myself so much all season. Oh, baby. I know it. I am anticipating it. I am letting you guys know. so you guys can make fun of me at another time. Let me hit up the chat though. Let me see.
Are we up to pick yet?
I'm
a little bit. We picked back to back.
Sully did say, front office will always say they're right, but the results on the field say it's a lie. How? Third worst playoff wins in 26 years.
Boom! Boom!
You hear him over here? He's saying boom. Boom, boom, boom. Haley94 said good because MCF seems to be yelling at the world.
Fuck the world.
Yeah, Mr. MCF has a lot to say if you guys haven't noticed. But I think that's also partially why you guys do enjoy being here. Whether you agree or disagree, you do like to hear what he has to say.
Most of them hate me. Sorry.
No, they know. Stop it. Let me see. I mean, let's be honest though. Like we can't. I think being a Dallas Cowboy fan has proven to me that I thought I was a pessimistic person. But fundamentally at my core, I am an optimistic person. Like, I'm not even lying. This is like a true, like, discovering who you are as a person type shit. Like, I genuinely thought I was more of a pessimistic person.
Boom. Mark Hoskins
I am an optimistic
with that 5
person.
on it.
I can't deny it. And that is why it works here. Because if we both were negative and both were just constant, like, this wouldn't work. Like, we'd just be two miserable blobs all the time. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying that you naturally, you can't help it the way you are. You do assume the worst of everything. Like, and especially when it comes to the Cowboys. And while I do assume the worst of the Cowboys, there's still a big part of me.
I lived the Jerry Jones.
A bigger part of me that does say...
There's hope.
There is always tomorrow.
I remember those days. I remember those days.
Yeah, I guess give me a few more. It's only been 5, almost 6 years of MCF. So give me a few more
you've
years.
You've been following for 8 years.
I know.
Or 7 years, and wait till the 10-year mark. You at the 7-year itch. Wait till the 10-year mark. Woo, man, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love what I see. What's the chat saying? Because a lot of you guys are young, and you guys don't know. You're like the wife here.
Well, Sully said he's the unofficial referee of My Cowboys Family. You're the official referee now. That's it. No more unofficial. You are the official referee of MCF.
I'll always throw that challenge flag for you.
So Dr. Football did bring up a good point, and I will say that Cowboys did nothing to address the reason they lost in the last 3 playoffs. I think they have in one major way, and that's why I said I can't really... Like, I admit I'm not 100% happy about it, but I can't really be too mad. And yeah, the O-line. Like, they're giving me what I asked them to give me. Just because they're not giving me exactly what I wanted, I'm sitting here and kind of complaining. I'm just saying, like, for me, that's why I'm trying to be a little bit more of, like,
that's why I asked you a question.
See how it works out.
That's why I asked you a question.
Thing,
That's why I asked you a question. Because I gave a lot of people, and not just you, a lot of people were anti-Philbin. Let me finish. And you guys didn't like him, blah, 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 have a problem with him. But the thing was, I brought up a couple of reasons why in the past, why he should stay, why I think he'll stay. He's the right-hand man for McCarthy, for him as well. When McCarthy goes, he'll go. But do you trust Philbin enough to get the things coached out of these guys that they need to be coached for? Do you trust them? Because you've been a hard ass on them.
I keep saying this. I do not really believe in Philbin. I don't.
Okay, we just got 2 guys that need a lot of coaching.
I know.
So, baby.
Toby Brewer, much love with the $2.
Did I just stump the wife?
No, I'm not stumped. I admit, no, I'm very clear about my hypocrisy in that sense. But we'll get to that in just a second. Real quick, $2 holler by Toby said, I admit I come here to smoke and laugh at him.
I do this and then I do this. For Toby. He knows why. He loves the finger.
I'm just here so I won't get
one?
fined.
The middle. What's up, Toby? Thank you for the $2.
Much love, Toby.
Brother. Appreciate you.
Hey, whether you love to love or you love to hate, it's all good.
That's all good.
We're representing all of Cowboy Nation here.
I know there's a couple haters, but they love to stay and chill. Like I always said, even the haters. I hope you guys have a good day.
My whole point is I do not believe in Philbin. I have concerns about them getting it done. But Dallas is still, Philbin or otherwise, they are still doing what they are supposed to do. It's kind of like, again,
I know you're saying.
Do I believe in most of the pieces of our offense? Yes. Do I believe in Kellen Moore?
An example I'm trying to give to you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm in this.
I hear you.
You cannot take away from Philbin Terrence Steele either. And that's the part. Like,
I agree.
Did that.
That's what I've been saying.
He has helped improve him. He has brought him up. And I think that, to me, is probably the biggest reason why the Cowboys are willing to trust in him. And also, injury. Injury was a big factor into why our offensive line did look as shitty. And to me, I think the Cowboys are, much like with other coaches in other positions, they are giving him the benefit of the doubt. I just doubt. I'm not giving him the benefit because I am not a fan. It's more about his offensive philosophy, too. Like, from what we've heard from Zach Martin, and then Tyron Smith didn't really talk too much about it, but Zach Martin is the guy that I remember the most. Don't ask me exactly what it was because I can't remember. But I remember he had made a comment about the way that Philbin ran his offensive line that I was just like, I don't know if I like that. And obviously it didn't bring out the best in all of our players. But the reason that Zach Martin looked as bad as he did wasn't just because of Biadish or just because of La'el Collins or whatever. Like, he was hurt. That's what I'm saying. Like, even our best players had some of their worst years ever. So it is like, we can't put that all on Philbin, but I'm not going to sit here and praise Philbin either because 1 out of 7 guys did his job. Well, and the other 2 guys were already established job doers. Like, we knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that I am just hoping that they have the other pieces around him. Like, why was he assistant offensive line coach? Like, is he a footwork master? Does he know about footwork? You get what I'm trying to say? So, like,
somebody
if
better.
Philbin is not the guy that really focuses on footwork or doesn't prioritize footwork, does someone in the building prioritize it? Is someone gonna be there to, like, help these guys and Philbin is focusing on another thing? You get what I mean? Like, is there some kind of delegation going on that maybe we don't know about? But I am not a fan of Philbin. I am a fan of this offensive line and that right attitude, and I am hoping Philbin, what he did with Terrence Steele, he can show us that he can do that as well with other guys. I just don't think he can. What does that mean for our season? Not great things, but I'm still like, I'm not writing it off completely.
Going by that, picking those kind of offensive linemen that need footwork help should not be teamed up with someone like Philbin.
Like we need to bring in we need to bring in the John Kitna of the offensive line in the sense of, like, this is the dude who's gonna hopefully work on that type of stuff.
What I'm trying to say is that, for instance,
I've been yelling a lot.
For instance, Waletzko, whatever his name is here, we got him here, the offensive tackle, very athletic, all that good stuff. He's also very technical. The only thing he's really missing is the power behind his blocks and getting off his blocks, when he's supposed to. He sticks to them too long. But the point about that is that, in my humble opinion, that's a guy for Philbin. That's a perfect guy for Joe Philbin to coach a guy like that up and try to get the power back into his game, or not back, but try to get the power in his game. When you look at someone like Tyler Smith, I just hope that he's such a highly rated player across the board in most of these things outside of the technical and footwork side of things, that it would be a little easier because of his abilities to be able to teach him those things. But we know Joe Philbin, we talked about it yesterday, he does not put much trust in he doesn't care much about teaching footwork. He teaches eye and other techniques, but not footwork is not one of their major things. They don't even do footwork drills. The Cowboys. Philbin doesn't do footwork drills. They better start doing it now. And again, that's what I'm hoping you said. Maybe Jeff Blasco will be the footwork guy, their specialist. Someone has to be.
I'm only bringing up Blasco because he's the guy who specifically worked out Tyler Smith. Yes, so like, if he was the guy who told Philbin, this is the guy. And then Philbin turns around and says to the Cowboys, this is the guy.
Yeah,
you represent the Cowboys right now. Stop. You want me to turn around and say, Jerry, this is the guy? I think you'd feel worse about that.
That's my point. Well, no. Haley, 94 where? With that $2. J. Lou Holler and Rigier Productions also here.
Thank you so much.
With that
By the way,
J. Lou
Rigier Productions also pointed out rightfully earlier, he's like, my Patriots picked in the first round a 4th round projected guy. So yeah, I know, maybe take some deep breaths, Dallas.
Cole Strange was a strange pick that early. So I understand there's some questionable stuff there.
Yeah, so real quick, but yes, he said the Cowboys need John Ridgeway, defensive tackle from Arkansas. Justin Curls has been screaming like, oh my God,
We've been screaming that the last 2 picks as well. Ridgeway since the 5th round, like let's get him. And now we got to focus on him here. Rigier, is that how you say it?
Rigier Productions.
Rigier.
That's how I say it anyway. But Haley 94, much so with the $2 holler, saying no one should have problems with their volume. LOL. Do you mean like our audio volume or like the
Too loud. We're screaming too loud. Hold on. Oh, my audio is too loud. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. This thing is in the middle of the stream. The fucking audio will.
I know. You guys don't understand. Sometimes our audio settings, like we'll start talking, and you cannot hear us.
Testing. Hello. Test. I think that's good. That should be good there.
All right.
Hello. Testing.
Sorry.
It should not be so crazy. It's still going to be loud because we want to make sure you hear us. God damn it.
So.
But it ain't going to be like.
No, Regier does admit he might be a little
out.
biased as an Arkansas fan. Actually, Justin Quarles is an Arkansas fan too, aren't you? I think you are.
When it comes to
I
Bama
just throw it
Arkansas
out there,
fans, I
so-
always got to watch because they always, when you look at their, it's
Well, hey, you know
Ohio
who's
State.
also a fan of Arkansas, though, right?
Yeah, Jerry Down.
So
We're a pick away,
now
guys.
it's too low.
By the way, Matt,
The audio is too low now.
It's too low? Are you fucking kidding me? All right. Well, if they're fucking with me, then this is staying the way it is. I'm going to go back to the original number and just leave it there. You guys, it's too loud. You can lower your own audio. How about them apples? We're away from the mic. That's why I have it louder than usual.
Oh, okay. He's saying he's joking. He said he's talking about the volume increasing as the passion rises on these picks.
Yeah. Well, I do my best. I can't help it.
We maintain a certain decibel level here at My Cowboys
If you
Family.
guys didn't tell me, I wouldn't know. Like, I would not know.
You know what's funny? I'm actually louder than you.
Are you?
Yes. You're like, you obviously have a deeper voice, so when you speak loudly, like the bass of it might go louder.
Like it's louder on the
but if you need to get someone from a mile away, I'm the person who's going to yell their name to get
true.
it. That's
That
what I'm
is
saying.
true.
Like, I am the one.
Now, the measurables for Waletzko, just going back real
Let me
quick.
get the dog in before the Cowboys
Yeah,
pick.
we're going to pick here in a minute. But the measurables for our new backup offensive tackle. And what's his name here? Matt Waletzko. When it comes to weight, that's his worst quality when you compare him to other offensive linemen, other offensive tackles. He's in the 53rd percentile. When you look at everything else, he's crazy numbers, right? When it comes to the measurables. Hand size, 70 percentile. Vertical jump, 75th percentile. This is an offensive lineman. And that's all offensive linemen. So, the 10-yard split, 83rd percentile. The 40-yard dash, he was in the 40th. He was in the 90th percentile in the 40-yard dash. He was also, in the broad jump, he was in the 94th percentile. In height, he's 96th percentile. In arm length and wingspan, 97th percentile. So, if the coaching, and this is where I personally think the coaching is needed more with this guy here in the 5th rounder, as it should be. And I think it fits Philbin's teaching ways better. He's technically sound, but he needs to be developed. That's where Philbin will help someone like Waletzko, if I'm saying his name right.
Is it Waletzko or Waletzko?
Waletzko. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. Yeah.
Hey. Oh.
Let's go.
Hey.
And there's my wife.
Let's go.
She's so cute.
Yes, I believe the Dallas Cowboys will draft a kicker now. It is the right choice. It is the only choice. Go Cowboys.
Hey, by the way, the Raiders are choosing, so the Vegas Raiders are choosing, so we'll be up here in a minute. But I think that if Waletzko can get himself some good fundamental teachings when it comes to developing power, weight training, NFL kind of upgrades, I think he has a chance to do something. He will challenge Josh Ball for sure. I think Josh Ball, he'll be a little bit of a head start, Josh Ball, when it comes to.
I'll wait for Dallas to.
Okay, Josh Ball's a head start because he's got at least a couple of months of practicing with these NFL players, and of course a whole offseason now, as we're in right now, 3 months of offseason of weight training, strength and conditioning. So that's where I think the biggest jump from someone like Waletzko and this is my opinion, maybe you guys can say I'm wrong, whatever, I don't care. Next year is where Waletzko becomes more of a factor.
Yeah.
I think a year of his strength and conditioning, a full offseason of strength and conditioning, you get Waletzko there with not having to teach footwork and technical stuff to him, Philbin will be able to get him to the next level. I think that's a good pick in that mindset. That's what scares me about Tyler Smith, because Tyler Smith, his talent level blows him out the water naturally, whatever it is physically. But Matthew Butler was taken, by the way, Tennessee tackle, a guy that I don't know if he's a one tech or not. We'll know right in a minute when they tell you he's not a one tech, so I don't mind. I don't mind that pickup. We would have never taken Matthew Butler.
That does mean Dallas.
Dallas is on the clock.
So her name is Asha.
Yes, Asha.
Say hi, Asha.
MCF Asha.
Oh, I wish she would bring over her favorite toy.
And she never destroys it.
She never, it's funny because we had a different one that she did destroy, but this one she doesn't.
Yeah, but that was a fluffy one. This is her child, and it's a cowboy football.
She has it was actually a souvenir we brought back from one of our trips in Dallas, and she must have stolen it from one of the kids because I know it was one of theirs.
It was their gift,
but now it's hers.
Now it's hers.
And she
She's
loves
claimed
it, and she's had it now for like a few months, and she's still, like we said, she hasn't destroyed it. She easily could have.
Months.
I think that has to be
She's had it for a lot longer than that, So the Cowboys going to get in the next 3 picks, guys. Cowboys, Lions, and Cowboys. So we get 2 of the next 3 picks. It's Cowboy time. As we, then we'll probably, click the camera off for a little bit, do a little research on these other guys, talk with you guys through it as other guys get picked off the board.
Yes.
And we have 1 pick left. We get 10 spots earlier because of the Amari Cooper trade. Ooh.
Yay. Ooh. So real quick, let me do some shout outs here in the chat. Oh, Catholic2 said, look in the Discord. Give me a sec. Let me look. Ooh.
He is a major big
guy. Look at all those. Are those yours?
That's so cute. So many fluff balls in there.
Oh, my goodness. I want them all.
Is the Cowboys here? We picked? No, we didn't pick it. I thought we picked.
No, we still...
Raiders draft from. Okay. No,
it's a little discombobulating the way they show that because you always think whatever they're showing on the screen...
They have the pick in.
Relates to... Like whatever they're talking about.
Yeah, it's always a little behind.
I hope it's Dicker. That'd be great.
Next pick. Not this one, the next one.
Ridgeway is still there. So I guess you should probably go Ridgeway over it.
Ridgeway.
Dicker the kicker. You see, now Sully did say this franchise can get... He said, if this franchise can just get to an NFC conference game, it'll change me from pessimist to optimist. Until that happens, Mr. and I will continue to rip this organization.
Who said that?
Sully.
Yep. Sully and I are on the same page on that, unfortunately. And I'm not here to rip the organization. The clown show is always going to be the clown show.
But the problem is that with the overwhelming lack of success these last few years, we do have to find a way to get past just winning 1 playoff game. Which is the most we've ever been able to. Like, we win 1 game and then lose in the next round. Like, no matter what. Without fail. Or we get to the playoffs and we lose. Like, we have to find a way to get past that hump. And you know what that means? NFC Championship, because you either end up as a first seed and you only need 1 game and then you're there, right? Or you gotta battle your way to the top like everybody else.
Pick is in.
The pick is officially in, so let me go ahead and put the phone away for a second here, so I don't get spoiled. Even though
we would love, we're all saying
here.
We're all saying we would like to see Ridgeway as the pick. I think defensive tackle, who would be a guy for next year. I don't think he's a guy who's going to start this year. He'd be a rotational piece, and he would be better than Bohanna, I believe, starting right into this thing. But we're saying the name too much. That means the Cowboys ain't picking him. I'm just going to be honest with you. But Dicker the kicker could be a pick here if they really value him over whoever's out there.
I will say I would be surprised if they went with that over an actual position, like an actual position of need, so to speak.
Well, I would say with so many kickers still left, you can wait 1 pick. You can let the Lions pick. My point is, the Lions going to pick Dicker the kicker? If they do, all right. There's another kicker out there that's really good. They got a lot of good. Ariza's still out there who's a kicker punter. And even though most people are not going to use him as a kicker, they want to use him as a punter. We would probably use him for both. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm putting it up.
Isaac Alcon. Let's go Cowboys. Let's go Isaac Alcon. Make this.
Yeah.
I would love to have him in the mix this year.
Alarcon's looking good, by the way. He looks really fit.
Yeah, he is.
More something like.
I would love for him to make this team because that means we got ourselves another solid offensive lineman. I'm sorry. Yep. He's repping his country, his beliefs. Here it is.
Linebacker. Damon Clark. Retro Scotty.
LSU.
You called it. There we go. Honestly, I'm surprised it took us this long to get a player from LSU.
That's one of the picks of need for sure. What kind of linebacker? I want baby, don't take him off.
Sorry, I know I always do.
Buckus Award finalist as well in college.
Buckus Award. He is just a flat ball player.
All right, let's see it.
The medical herniated disc.
Herniated disc is why he dropped. 6'2", a little over 6'2", 239, 240.
That's good. That means if healthy.
He is off-ball linebacker. I see him already.
Look at him there.
Very fast closing speed, I see. Remember, Jabril Cox probably played with him a year. He's in coverage here. Good job, coverage. Okay, just
there we go.
Interception down the field, which is nice.
He stayed with them that whole time, too.
Here's in a line of scrimmage with a Micah kind of blitz. right up the guard in a sack, so has some power and some impact, some oomph. The medicals, the herniated disc is what hurts him.
But you know what? That, if anything,
hold
that's...
on. It wasn't that one.
Back to the form he showed in 2021. But as I said, he looked to me, guys, like a late first, early second round pick based on his performance.
Mel Kiper said he looked like a late first, early second because of medicals.
That injury made him drop. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the
good risk reward
the Kobe Dean of the Dallas Cowboys, if you want to look at it that way. You get what I'm trying to say? Look at them in there. I have to admit, this might be the one. You remember how I said earlier?
Now we're back at it, by the way. It ain't over.
So, by the way, I know, but I was gonna say, like,
James Mitchell was picked by the Lions, tight end for Virginia Tech. Doesn't hurt
go.
us. Now we're back on the clock. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What was
so again, well, Dan said out for the year. Herniated disc ain't no joke.
Oh, is he out for the whole year? Is that?
Yeah. So Toby said he's hurt. He probably won't play this year.
Oh.
Okay. Again, but this.
Well, there goes that.
I'm gonna throw it out. I'm just gonna say, don't freak out when I say this, because I mean it in a good way, not in a bad way. But Jalen Smith. And we drafted.
Well, it's a different kind of situation.
I know it's a different type of situation.
You're risking a much lesser important pick in a way.
But the whole point is high risk, high reward. If the Cowboy, as long as he's healthy and he comes back next year and he's ready to go, he's going to look
like a steal.
Not just a steal. He's going to look like a bona fide starting.
We're building our linebacker. We're building our defense. He's an off-ball linebacker and cover and attack. If he's okay, if he's okay, baby.
Yeah, he'll miss an entire rookie season. Yeah.
Baby, when he comes back, what if he's not the same player?
We're high risk, high reward.
All right.
We spent this risk was worth it to me, considering we picked.
But it's not a second.
Someone.
It's not a second rounder. Is the point?
No.
You don't have to put the volume on, baby, until
the selection is.
Is it a kicker? Probably the next round's a kicker.
John Ridgeway.
Yes!
Yeah.
That one we can all celebrate for.
I have to admit.
That's
what I'm trying to say. This makes more sense than a kicker. Even I'll admit it.
Of
even
course.
though, hell
kicker
yeah.
in the 6th round. If you want to go kicker.
You know what? I have to admit that.
That's the best pick of the day.
Bad. But you know what's funny? They went with what's his face because obviously they thought the Lions were going to get him. Just throwing it out there, or at least they suspected the Lions could have gotten him.
Oh,
there.
Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm assuming he transferred from Ridgeway transferred from Illinois State to
Arkansas. There, another Arkansas player. There you go.
Up in his talent there, defensive tackle. Is he a 1 tech or 3 tech?
I don't know. I don't think they're not even talking about him yet.
2019 honorable mention. I like this pick a lot. Again, this is one of those guys that we personally were kind of talking about over and over again. We drafted him in our last mock draft. Not that that matters anything. That's just for fun. But I'm just saying, John Ridgeway. A lot of people said he was not going to last that long in our drafts that we did. We picked him in the 5th round, I think.
Yeah.
In our 3rd pick, so we picked him where we wanted to pick him. But we got Clark instead, so it was like a bonus pick. I guess the Cowboys must have known the Lions were not ready to.
Yeah.
The
1
Lions,
tech, but he can play at 3.
Okay.
Said Haley 94 where.
I don't like that because that's that versatility issue. I need a 1 tech. Cowboys don't like 1 tech.
I think it's more he has the option of playing there, but he obviously is truly a 1 tech guy.
Let's see. I'm gonna check here. I don't know. We're gonna see here, guys.
Let me see.
I
did think it's interesting. Again, I'm just saying because Rack City is saying, no, we could have gotten Clark undrafted. Other people are saying, no, that's gonna be a steal. Watch, wait,
The thing is, we got Ridgeway.
Dan's also saying, he was only 13, but when he had a herniated disc, he was out for 18 months.
Damn.
So they're just saying in the sense it's a long-term injury. The Cowboys know that going into it, but if anything, that's good because, like you said, it's not like we're not in need of linebacker to the point where we needed him to start right now.
Well,
it would have been fucking amazing to have him right this second, obviously. But I mean, he was a butt kiss, whatever the fuck it was. Winner.
Here it is. So Damon Clark.
So I was gonna say, yeah.
Let me go first.
A finalist.
A finalist.
Not a winner.
First, let me talk about Damon Clark here. 6'3", 240, LSU. We know he's out for the year, so he's for next season. Just like Waletzko, if you look at the offensive tackle that we drafted, he's for next year. So 5th rounders are for next year so far. It seems like, but Ridgeway's. We'll talk about Ridgeway in a minute. I think he's for next year too, but he's gonna get some chances this year. So was it Damon Clark? Is that right?
I would say Damon.
Damon Clark, he's very tough to block in the run game. So he's a run-stopping, off-ball linebacker, which is exactly what I wanted for us. Now, You know what? I will say this. It makes sense now. Makes sense. LVE, 1 year. Luke Gifford 1 year.
I didn't want to say LVE while we were doing all that just because I wanted to look into him more, but I was going to say, I'm like, he's going to end up being what we wanted LVE to be.
Specifically a linebacker is the point I'm trying to say.
I'm just saying, he's going to end up being what we wanted LVE to be.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Well, I don't know. I'm not saying that either. Because I don't even know much about this guy yet. But I'm trying to say he is the guy that we want to play that position LVE is in. LVE is the stopgap for 1 year till Damon Clark is good to go. So that's automatic. It looks like. So in that sense, we drafted. We want to hear this. We drafted a first round pick for next year, a second round pick for next year. John Ridgeway, 6'5" and at 1'8", 321. Definitely over center here as a one tech. Good. He's a two down guy. Over center one tech. That's what I need to see. Push the pocket back. I don't need sacks.
Yeah, pass rush, we don't know her.
We don't listen, he gets the push, that's all we need. We need the run stop. They got a guy who's a run stop specialist. Damn, that would have been a penalty.
Okay, I was gonna say that looked.
Let me hear. Smart player, another trait that we've all been seeing through the whole draft for the Cowboys.
But he can get off blocks and also make plays, tackle.
Two good picks at the end, I will say.
I think these picks right now are going to be the ones that make the draft. Obviously, Damon Clark is a little bit of like an asterisk in the sense of, we're assuming a lot of things within this next year. But like it says here, he did just have spinal fusion surgery. He just had it March 24th, guys. So this is Damon Clark just had that surgery. Yeah. But he's expected to make a full recovery. When it comes to medical stuff, the Cowboys usually tend to nail it when it comes to health. Right? Jalen Smith made physically a full recovery.
I know.
Right?
I'm not worried about him
in the sense of
being good
it sounds
to go.
like he should be physically ready and able to go next year.
Let's go piece by piece here. Damon Clark, real quick here, through their analysis here, closes well, chases with good effort, he's tight. He's tight and is going to have a hard time covering shiftier running back. So he's not really, like, we have other guys that could probably do that, like DaRon Curse can drop down and help out with that side of things. But he matches up better with tight ends. Shows good awareness.
Which is good, because when's the last time we stopped the fucking tight end?
Well, last year with DaRon Curse.
Well,
that's the reason. We locked him up. So I'm just saying, but he's another helpful guy there. He underwent spinal fusion, like you said, on March 24th. Likely to miss the entire season. But full recovery is more than expected. So that's the positivity.
And Toby just dropped the $2 holler, backing us up there, saying that Clark had spinal fusion surgery. He is out for 2022. Yep.
Good. Thank you on that one. That one I'll give you a thumbs up. See, that finger is nicer, isn't it, Toby? Appreciate it, Toby. The $2 holla. The J. Lou, too. And yes, the fact that he's out for the year, I mean, some people might complain about it. Matt Ariza was picked a punter / can kick two man.
Look, let's just punter special
80-yard
teams.
punt here.
Look, we're good on the punting situation.
I know.
Madman, what's up? He said Bland and that tackle are not very good picks, but MCF is happy we got Ferguson, I bet. It's funny because
Who said that?
Madman.
Yeah, I like Ferguson. Ferguson, I'm good with Ferguson. He's more of a blocking type guy, right? But not blocking. He's more an athletic type guy, but he can provide kind of like Dalton Schultz. I'm good with that. I like that pick. Bland could have been my issue with. I have no problem with Bland. I like the player as a sixth or undrafted. That's my issue with him. The tackle, he's for next year to me. Josh Ball is this year. Bland, not Bland, but Waletzko. What's his name? I'm second to say. What? Yeah. Waletzko. Waletzko.
There you go.
Yeah. Matt Waletzko. Waletzko, to me, don't get hyped for him this year. I think Josh Ball plays and Tyron Smith stay if he gets hurt. But I think that Waletzko is next year with, like I said, when I broke down kind of what I think Philbin can give him, that's where he can be maybe a bigger jump than, and I don't want to say bigger jump than like a Tyler Smith, because Tyler Smith is going to be fantastic at the run block. He's already got natural talents that you don't have to teach. You got to teach the footwork and the technique, which obviously can be taught. I just hope Philbin is the right guy for that when it comes to footwork. But I think that both guys going to be, I think Tyler Smith's obviously going to be, should be dominating. That's what they're telling us. Should be dominating at that left guard spot, especially in the run game. When it comes to this guy here, we should be seeing strides from him next year.
What's our last
not this
pick,
year.
baby, again?
Ridgeway was our last.
No, like 190 what?
Oh, 196,
93,
92, I don't know.
96, like what?
To the bottom of our screen here where I'm seeing a scroll. I'll see when it comes up and I'll let you know. But I'm assuming the Cowboys are looking at a lot of these last couple of picks as next year guys. Like Ferguson, I like 4th round, but Bland to me was too early of a pick. Waletzko is has the potentials are there, but it reminds me of a Josh Ball. It reminds me of a Biadish. Like the potential, but it's still that 4th or 5th round potential is only going to go so high. So we'll see where that goes. But the last 2 picks here, the back-to-back situation.
Did Ridgeway have back surgery
well,
too?
I'm gonna go into that now.
Go ahead and look into that real quick.
Damon Clark. The thing about Damon Clark is that again we know he's a high-level 1st or 2nd round type guy. So think of it like this. Can we do this, guys? We traded away our 5th round pick. And we gave it a 5th round pick. We got a high 2nd round pick for next year. We got Damon Clark.
That's what I'm saying. If you had said that to me, any single person would have said hell yeah.
Right. So we look at it that way, and that's not to fool us. That's literally what it is.
Exactly. That's what we did instead of trading up or calling another. We was our trade. Made a deal with ourselves, which is making a deal with the devil. Yeah. So we sold Jerry our Jones, souls, which means we're winning a Super Bowl. That's
John Ridgeway, 6'5", 321, very good, stout run defender, as we just saw with the highlights there. A former wrestler.
Another one.
Controls blockers with his hands, locates the ball well, and gets off blocks. Funny, we're usually talking about the offensive side of this, but last year with Osa, now with Ridgeway, inside, we got a lot of wrestlers going on in there. Again, his effort chasing after the run and rushing the passer is still, even though he's not a very good pass rusher, it's not his skill, but he's relentless and non-stop driven, no high motor, attacking the quarterback. Even if he's blocked by 2 guys, 3 guys, he's pushing the pocket back. That's all you need from a run stopper, as a 2-down run stopper. That's how you get 3 downs. You at least push that pocket back. We don't need you to be Aaron Donald. We just need you to push the pocket a little bit back. Bohanna can't even set his anchor yet, so we don't know if Ridgeway. I'm assuming Ridgeway's a little better than him, at least initially at starting points. I don't know. But doesn't have the foot speed or the closing burst to get to the quarterbacks of the NFL. So, he's not going to be providing a pass rush is the point in the NFL. He's going to be providing a pass push. Not a pass rush, a pass push. But that's not why we drafted him, was for a pass rush. We drafted him for the run stop.
Yeah.
And that's what he's about. Now, I don't know what his issue is yet with injury. So I didn't see that in his breakdown. So let me know about the back surgery. I didn't see
that there either.
One of you guys said it in the chat, but that might have been referring to Clark.
No, I know. Let me see. Cameron C said, you can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you might find you get what you need.
There you go. Pick 193. Hopefully we get what we need. Kicker! The dicker! The kicker, the dicker. I don't know.
Oh, God.
The Eagles are picking right now.
I know. Is a pass push an actual saying?
No, it's not. Why? Are you asking me?
Yeah, he was.
Who asked?
Madman. He's like, is that an actual saying?
I just made it up. Kyron Johnson, linebacker, Kansas, going to the fucking Eagles.
Eagles are such biters.
Yeah, they always want to copy our ass, don't they?
Let me see.
Pass push, I just made that up. But they should grade that for one text. Like interior one text, the ones that don't get the run stop.
He's just joking, by the way. Like, he's just...
No, I want that
messing
stat.
Around.
I want the pass push.
No, I'm saying Madman is messing with...
I know, man.
We're honestly, we need food.
We're almost there, baby. We're like 12 picks away, 10 picks away. Oh. And then we're going to shut it down, guys. It's been a long draft. It's been a very up and down.
Interesting, though. I will say, this is definitely hands down, but one of the weirdest drafts I think we've seen in a while. Would you say it's weirder than the post-COVID draft? In the sense of 2020 and 2021? I think 2020 was probably the worst draft because it just everything happened right around that time. You know what I mean? So we there was just not as much time with 2021. At least we anticipated some of the changes or differences that were going to be happening. That's what not to say that 2020 was a bad draft, just saying that it was the worst draft as far as being able to evaluate talent properly, as far as maybe even what teams were getting from the players that they got. They kind of just had to make do the injuries alone basically completely changed the trajectory of every single team.
And the COVID list, the injuries, but also the COVID like rules. You couldn't. And that last year too. Look, Beavers went to the Giants. So again, we could have had Darian Beavers, but we decided to go next year with the linebacker, with the off-ball linebacker. So Cincinnati, Darian Beavers, he's a good player. A guy that some people have talked to maybe coming to Dallas, but the Cowboys decided to go with the better talent next year rather than grabbing the talent
wants to know better
pick
pick for next year, Dean or Clark?
Nakobe Dean or Clark?
Like basically which one, and that's why I said Clark is our Nakobe Dean in the sense of but true. He actually had medicals that made him drop for a reason.
The thing is though, Nakobe Dean, that's a steal for the Eagles in the sense where he drafted.
But Clark is also a steal considering his talent. He was kind of expected to go around this time because of the medical situation.
Right.
But talent wise, he was still projected. In a very different spot.
I mean, I think it depends on more what are you looking for, because we know Nakobe Dean is when it comes to off-ball linebacker, he's a lot smaller than your typical off-ball linebacker. When you're looking at someone like Damon Clark, to me, I think he's a 6'3", 240. It's a lot bigger. Again, Nakobe Dean's a little, maybe I think he's about the same weight, but I'm talking about height-wise. Yeah. That's something that was one of the things. It was like 5'11", Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, he was a little too short for
That's
Dallas.
One of the things that hurt his, not with Dallas, but everybody hurt him as well. Off the ball, like off the top, he was a top 10, 12 guy, but just not.
Yeah, it was the fake medical reports combined with his height.
He dropped into the second round before the false medical reports. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like before the false medical reports, he dropped into the lower rounds. Not lower rounds. Let me rephrase that. He dropped into the. They were saying end of the first, beginning of second round. Was where there was same thing that you can see for Damon Clark and when it was.
Oh, Jared Bogarty, you're cracking me up. He said this draft's class nickname is Team Big Meat.
Well, he did say that. I mean, that's what good old Steve said.
Karam Awani said the Cowboys would be judged for what they do in the postseason.
And that's really what matters. Not about you get whoever you want here. They have to, but see, how do you get to the postseason? It's all about what you do here, right? It's about where you start building. Right? Yeah, you got to build somewhere, and that's where we got to keep our eyes on. Yes, we want to do great in the end, but you can't just start doing great because you want to. You got to build, and there's some questionable picks no matter what anybody says. In my opinion, still there's also some good moves in this draft by the Cowboys. That's why a C plus even maybe.
I'm still giving it a B. It just feels more solidly B. Like I just Devin Harper, linebacker from Oklahoma State.
You got your favorite position, baby. Linebacker.
There you go. So like I said, we triple dipped. Right?
Oklahoma State.
And we went I'm just saying we did. We went linebacker here, linebacker there for next year, but linebacker here for this year. I'm assuming. All right. Throwing it out there. Like he's the guy who can play for us now.
What do you think? I mean, who
Devin Harper?
He's the guy that's gonna what?
He's the guy who can play for us now, like in the sense of like Clark is not available to play because he's out for the year.
Well, if he's gonna play for us now, we're in trouble.
Okay, no, I mean he's play. That's all I meant.
So he's gonna be our he's gonna be our special teams guy.
Yeah, or like a Luke Gifford-esque type of. You know what I mean? Like
the reason I say that, baby, is to put it into perspective. I know you understand.
He's a 6th-round pick. Well, how much more perspective?
That's my point. He ain't gonna out there and start. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, would have been a starter.
Shell Jones said they give Dan Quinn the scraps, man. Jared Bogarty said it's an IOU red shirt. Exactly. So that's exactly how I see it. So we'll have to see. I'm assuming Cameron Dicker will end up getting picked in the 7th round.
By somebody, right? Yeah, or in the 6th round by
somebody. If not, then hey, please, Cowboys, do it.
Undrafted, let's get him. Devin Harper.
So there we go. The official end of the Dallas Cowboys 2022 draft.
No freaking information on this guy.
I mean, they just kind of skipped over him.
Oh no, maybe they didn't know. They'll talk about it now. No?
I mean, I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe they're just 2 picks back right now.
Okay.
Let me see.
True, they are talking about Jalen. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
there's nothing on this guy from Oklahoma State, guys. Anybody know anything about this guy? Because I have no fucking clue, and neither does ESPN or any analytical person. This is one of those. This is one of those picks, which is it's a Will McClay, Dan Quinn, Deshaun Wright pick. See, this is where we should have gotten Bland. This is where you should have got the kicker. But all right, I'm sure we'll find some cool little quotes about him, but we won't know much about him. He's an undrafted to me, guys. I don't know.
Well, let's see. He honestly, this is one of the guys that the Cowboys brought in for their 30 visit.
Let me check on that. What's his name again?
Devin Harper out of Oklahoma State. He took advantage of that COVID-19 extra year of eligibility. He's consistently seen the field since 2019, but he didn't step into a prominent starting role until this past season, so keep that in mind. The most distinguished award he brought home during his tenure. In 2020, he earned the second all-team, all-academic from the Big 12. He registered a 9.49 on the RAS score, which is very good compared to the average linebacker testing, which is 4.9.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is that...
So a linebacker with good athletic testing, not necessarily fully developed,
work in progress. He's a Luke Gifford replacement, possibly. I mean, a more athletic Luke Gifford.
And it seems like, just reading from this analysis here real quick by Cowboys Wire, like, even they're just kind of like, we're very confused why Dallas brought him in. There's not too many upsides to him. We are very confused here. Once again, we are confused. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, the Cowboys really liked him. No one's really sure why, but Dan Quinn must have fallen in love with him for some reason.
The Cowboys, they always seem to, like, they throw in, what was that, the Rico Gathers pick, and they throw in the Ben DiNucci pick. It's always like one of your guys' picks. Like, okay, Mike, you can have DiNucci. All right, Will, you can have this guy. Okay, Dan Quinn, you can have this guy. That's why that name sounds a
little bit familiar. We did bring him in.
Yes, I did read him off the list today.
Which is weird.
I skipped him to in the end here because we just drafted a fucking linebacker, and we discussed how the Cowboys had the fail-safe for this year at the linebacker spot. So I guess this guy, listen, he's not passing. He's our Francis Bernard replacement.
There you go. That's the way to see it.
And that could be, you can just as well have an undrafted as a Francis. I'm just saying.
Well, they chose. Sorry. Well, it's okay. Look, we're wrapping up the stream here. Thank you guys so much to every single one of you guys.
We're wrapping it up, but we ain't done. I gotta still hit up the chat, baby. I gotta know what people are thinking. So we're done on the screen.
I know.
We ain't done screaming. No.
Guys, drop your thoughts here. Let me actually go ahead and hit up the poll. Why don't you go ahead and
close it out?
Close it out, since we want to know. But the next poll we do is going to be about the entire draft.
Yeah, that's going to be later tonight. We're going to have a little bit of a. Again, what are you looking at me like that for?
No.
Kill me.
No, I didn't say that.
There is the look of murder there.
No, it wasn't a look of murder. Mark Hosian, much love with a $5 holler here. He just said, "Thank you." The defensive tackle looks good. Literally every pick was a reach, and now we just have to watch Jerry Jones pat himself on the back and gloat. The players weren't even listed in draft guides.
Not this one. Not this last one. Not this guy right here at the bottom.
This is the weirder
Devin Harper. This is one of those, you got to remember, this is where the Cowboys say to themselves, to even Will McClay, right? Even though I trusted Will McClay, this is where they all say, let's roll the dice here. And it's a stupid kind of pick. Here, they're going to talk about him now. Let's hear it.
Exactly what you want in the 6th round. That's getting value. And barring trades, that puts a wrap on Dallas's 2022 draft. As you look at the list of players, as Mel mentioned earlier, Damone Clark from LSU is probably going to miss this season. But how do you assess what they've done?
I like what they've done. And you think about trying to create versatility along that front seven so you can
versatility
move the guys around. They've done that, with this draft. I think Sam Williams, yes, there's the off-the-field issues that he's gone through.
No. I know. Let me just go ahead and hit the chat. I already did. Larry J said, we had 9 picks and got 9 projects. Sheesh. Hopefully the coaches are ready to coach.
Well, remember, every single guy you draft in the draft is a project in some way, right? They're raw, and no matter how much they're ready for the NFL, they still need to be coached up a little bit.
Yeah, Dan said, I don't get this pick. We needed a kicker. Jared Bogarty said, this guy's like the bacon grease and the gumbo. You don't need it, but it adds flavor. Put a little clown emoji there.
Yeah, that's the way. You'll hear Jerry Jones say that today. Watch.
Jason Ruffer said, "What the hell? No kicker? We didn't get one in free agency, and now we didn't even get one. The clowns."
They're gonna go undrafted, guys. They're gonna go to the undrafteds and pluck one from there, and then pick up a free agent. The Cowboys are not valuing kicking, obviously.
Yeah.
When they had Brett Maher in there a couple years ago.
Yeah, I feel very confident.
And they stick with fucking, Zerline for as long as they did. What do you expect? Yeah.
Ready Red, what's up? Much love.
Ready.
William Burney said the draft is hit or miss, guys, and we really won't know how good or bad it is after the season.
Who said that?
William Burney.
I agree. We won't know until at least during the season, and a lot of you guys won't know their full impact until seasons are in the book. We know this. This is the way it is.
Maybe we'll have some fun in the next like a week or two and do like a look back at the previous drafts and, you know, just in the last few years and just kind of say, you know, obviously we had feelings initially about them, but looking back on them, how good were those drafts actually? You know?
I know we've kind of...
I know we've already kind of done that. I'm just saying that, you know, now we have another draft, once again, continue to add to the list, but let's be honest. You know what the most successful draft is going to be? The one that gets us to the Super Bowl.
And it won't be one. That's the thing. It won't be one. It'll be a couple.
So, I mean... Donald Sabo said, Jones Clown Family. Happy, happy, joy, joy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to put on the screen right now because, again, listen. I want you guys to give me your last votes right now.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and read the poll here, guys. Again, how would you grade the draft as day 3 comes to a close?
Okay, I didn't close it down.
159 votes.
You ready for the close?
Yes.
Boom.
159 votes, guys, and you guys said 43% of you said you give it a B, 27% give it a C, 19% give it an A, and 9% give it a D. So overwhelmingly in the BC range.
Right, and I think that's the fairest place.
You're more on the C side of things.
I'm going to C plus.
I'd say I'm more on the B side.
I'm going to C plus it up, and that last one almost made me rip it back to a D. But
I was going to say, yeah, that last one kept it from being higher. You should have gotten a kicker.
You're going with a B minus, B plus. What are you going with?
Well, I'm going with Mark Hospian with a $5 holler here. You know what he said?
What did the man say?
I went through our draft from 2012. We get gods like Martin, but most other players are big zeros or average. Look it up. It's the same this year, I bet. It's just a clown show. So basically,
Jamari Soller, by the way, to the Chargers. Literally a couple picks after us. A guard. A true guy that can make a move in there as a backup and maybe push out Connor McGovern. Anyway, it's over.
I know.
Chargers got some damn good linemen, I'll tell you that.
They need to. They got to protect their
Herbert. And they're protecting him. We're not protecting Dak too much, it looks like. Mark Hospian dropping another 2 on it. But I'm sorry. I know he dropped 2 in a row, so... Let's hear what the man with the plan with 2 months in a row of domination and going for that 9th week with the lead. What did he say?
43% obviously trust the clown show.
Listen, I don't know if mine was a C plus because I see that some of these guys got to work out for what they're used for here, right? Sam Williams got to be our first pick. Got to come out there and got to dominate at guard. There's no excuses. First round pick, offensive lineman picked with the Cowboys. Some people are gonna say, "Oh, give him a chance." He still no, fuck all that. He's got to start, and he's got to be pretty damn good. So no
ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I think Sam Williams is another guy that has to be. Again, I trust this pick. Why? Not because of the player as much as it is the coach behind it. Dan Quinn's gonna get him ready and utilize him in a certain way that he wants to use him over guys like Nick Bonito and other guys that were out there at edge. He wanted Sam Williams, and there's a reason, and I trust in Quinn. So I might not love it. We all might not love it, but I trust it in Quinn. So that pick is nice. I like that pick for that reason. And I changed my I didn't like the pick of the receiver, but I know the reasoning for it. The drop-off was huge at receiver after him. Tight ends, there was still a lot of depth at tight end. So I'm okay with that receiver pick. I'm explaining my picks here slowly but surely. But, and you're looking into that. Those are the 3 first picks. And today, the rest of them were just done now. The 6 left. And you saw us come in there with a tight end in mind. I'm not crazy about the tight end that we picked, but I'm glad we addressed it. We needed to, and that's why I'm saying we got some stuff right, but we got some stuff wrong. So that's why it's a C for me. Like I can see where we're going. We're trending right.
You see where we're going. We also see where we could have done better.
Yeah, definitely. And there's definitely some improvements this team could have had. So DaRon Bland again, a guy I was talking so highly about. For the 6th round or undrafted, not the first pick of the 5th round. That threw me off. And then we got Waletzko, which, again, is a pick to me more for next year if you want to see him actually see the development after a year. So I understand development. Okay, I'm going to judge it that way. You look at, what's his name? Damone Clark. That's a next year 2nd round pick. Let's say that's next year's Jalen Smith. That's next year's risky pick. We got him this year in the end of the 5th. I'll take that's a good risk. I don't mind. That's a smart play. The last pick, what was his name? The last guy we just got in the 6th round. Was it the 6th round? No. Did we get one more guy before that? Oh no, Ridgeway. Love the Ridgeway pick, and I know Mark Hospian also likes that one as well. Ridgeway is going to be impactful this year. That's a good pick up in the end of the 5th round. And then the 6th round pick was the throwaway pick to me. He's your special teams pick. With I don't know what they're. That's where I'm leaving it at. And so you see what I'm saying? There's nothing that's there's a couple like yes, I'm glad. There's a couple like what the fuck, and then there's a couple like we just gotta. It's just like all right, we'll see what happens. That's why it's a C. I can't be extra hard on them. We know we hate the clown show and the way they do things, but McClay, adds some hope into this. And again, it's about to the coaches. You see, it's a lot of this is the coaches have to develop these players.
They got to put in the work this year.
Who did I trust? Dan Quinn. Who do I don't trust? Philbin. I don't trust Kellen Moore. It's the offensive picks, which are a majority of them, is where I'm fearful. I'm nervous about some of these guys on offense. Defense, Ridgeway, I'm good. Williams, I'm good. And even DaRon Bland. I mean, it was a bad pick where we picked them at. Devin Harper, I don't know much about him. I'm trusting Dan Quinn to get these guys to the best of their abilities.
Oh, here we go. Mark Holstein with a $10 holler just said,
boom.
Tyler is not an upgrade at guard. The defensive edge isn't bad and can start. Defensive tackle will be a nice rotational guy, which we already have. Every other player is a backup.
Well,
a draft of backups? That's how you improve our team?
So let me first of all, I don't think we improved. That's overall. I don't care how good these guys I might think they are or not. It's a C average. If we got a C draft and we depleted ourselves, that means we didn't fix enough.
That means we just kind of stayed where we're at.
We went down. We went down because we got rid of guys and then we just stayed average. So that means we didn't move from where we were at last, and where we were at last was not last year.
Mark's whole point is that the Cowboys thought they were better than they were last year when a lot of those players were average or below average.
I get that. He agrees with that, too.
But that's what I'm saying. So if we were average to below average last year, and we were overhyping ourselves to believe we were more than that, that means that we, more or less, are still average to below average now.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is, whatever the perception is one thing. Let me ask you a question, and I know Mark agrees. We talked about La'el Collins yesterday. And he agreed that we should have used that money better. We didn't. So, it's almost worth keeping La'el Collins. I talked about Amari Cooper. You guys can hate me for this one, but it wasn't Amari Cooper's fault. It was Kellen Moore's fault more so, in my opinion, or the game planning from the offense. Wherever that root's from, front office, is it Dak? I don't know, but Kellen Moore is the root of that adjustment issue, and he never incorporated Amari into the game plan, which is getting paid $20 million. You figure that's what Amari's specialty is being getting the ball in his hands and scheme for him to run routes down the field so you can, he'll be destroying guys if you just tell him where to go. But we didn't do that. We just even targets to everyone, and Amari suffered. I'm just trying to say these are downgrades, that we didn't really improve these spots on this team. And we can bullshit ourselves all we want, but that's the problem, is that we went down from wherever we were shitty already. We went shittier, and then we stayed there for the draft. And I'm not saying we're going to get better in some places. I love the Ridgeway pick because
we just didn't overall improve as a team.
I agree.
On a whole,
we did not improve as a team.
Individual positions.
But I want to go back to what he said, line by line, because
Tyler isn't an upgraded guard.
Hold on, Tyler is not an upgraded guard. It's still yet to be seen. But as a run,
Grant Calcaterra off to the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean the Cowboys like him, so of course they're going to like him. But he's not an undrafted anymore. Either way, off the board to the Eagles. But they're always taking our tight ends. So say that again. That he like. So listen, I don't know.
Tyler's not an upgraded guard.
When you compare him to Connor Williams and you compare him to the run blocking side, I disagree with you, Mark. I think that he is better in that sense. But the penalties and the unknowns is still worrisome. So we don't know yet the answer to that. I don't know if it's an upgrade, and that's bad when it's the first round pick. I'm not saying he's not an upgrade. Mark's saying he's saying it's not an upgrade. I'm saying I don't know. And we got to wait and see on that. But I'm hopeful it's an upgrade. Hopeful. That can bite me in the ass. Now, second round, Sam. No, what was the other thing he said?
Defensive edge isn't bad, and he can start.
So Sam Williams, right? So exactly. I think we talked about it yesterday. He's like, there's no way. But I think that we understand that his abilities in Dan Quinn's scheme. That's all I'm saying. In Marinelli's scheme with the Cowboys, probably not going to work too well. But in this scheme, I think I know to trust Dan Quinn. So even though the pick was a little early, it seems like it was a Will McClay placed on table, and it was a Dan Quinn chosen. Mm-hmm. So I'm good with this pick. Not because of that, but because I trust Dan Quinn's usage of Sam Williams. So good. Next is his thoughts as far as the $10
defensive tackle will be a nice rotational guy. which we already have.
Not really rotational, though. He is rotational, but he's not. He's a 2-down guy for run stopping. But who's the run stopper on this team? Who's the 1-tech? We got a bunch of 3-techs. I agree. Rotational at the 3-tech.
Bohana's the only one, right?
Bohana's the only 1-tech. Carlos Watkins is a cheap version of it. So,
So it's going to be him and Bohana tag teaming that.
They're going to have to figure it out who's going to win that battle to eventually get the first and second down snaps. Because I think Watkins can play third down snaps, the pass rush side, until they develop one of those guys win that battle. But I think Ridgeway is going to get some starting abilities on those first. You see a game start, and it's going to say, your starting lineup, you're going to see the defensive 1-tech is going to be Ridgeway eventually this year. So watch for that. And Bohana, unless he's gotten better, which I hope he has, then he might fight for that spot. But Watkins, I think he's just gonna roll back to that 3-tech or a 1-tech rotational here and there to help out. But he's not a 1-tech run stopper, Carlos Watkins, and we have nobody else. So Bohana and now Ridgeway. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say I think he's a little better than just a rotational piece.
Yeah.
When it comes to Ridgeway. And what was I know he dropped another 5. Yeah. We'll get to that.
He said every other player is a backup.
And on that side of things, I mean, again, I think that the receiver is our third guy, so he's going to get some starting reps, right?
I was going to say, I want to say all backups, but not exactly like starters. Because like you said, Jalen's going to start.
Right. Jalen Tolbert's going to start.
Yeah, but he's
as
not
a third
a
receiver.
Starter.
Right.
Like, he's not
going to be forced to start.
Yeah.
Like Ridgeway's forced to start in some ways. So
No, but you see, forced almost implies, like, again, like we'd rather them not be playing. Like, no. The whole point of it is that they're there to start, but they're... Again, there's layers of starters, right? They're on the bottom layer of the starters.
But when you have a wide receiver,
you have a role to play.
When you have a wide receiver, his role is to play 70% of the snaps. That's a starter.
That's a starter.
And when you have a 12, again, you might only have 50% or 60% of the snap, 50% of the snaps, maybe a little less.
Yeah.
But when you're running two tight ends,
for a defense that we run,
when you run 2 tight ends, you got yourself another pseudo starter. Right? When it comes to when you 12 personnel, you're going to probably have, what's his name? Ferguson in there, right? With the Dalton Schultz. So
they got a lot of starting number 2 pieces, basically.
But these are kind of starters in our offense. And a receiver and tight end.
They are starters, like you said. They're going to play. They're going to have their snaps.
But I believe that Jalen Tolbert is better than the guy you don't like, James Washington, right? I believe that the tight end. I know the tight end is going to be better. Ferguson is better than McEwen and Sprinkle. Are they supposed to be? Are they as good as they're going to be hyped? No. But are they what I expect? Yes. So that's why I'm saying it's a C to me, because they filled in the spots with guys that are good enough that are going to help this team, but they're not better than last year overall. And I agree. He dropped 2 more $5 hollers back to back.
And get to them.
Let's get to them. I just wanted to break that down because he brought up a lot of good points, but I wanted to explain the reason of my C. Maybe he's putting it to a D or an F, but I wanted to explain why I got to where I got with that, with using the Mark Hospian rule book, because I understand where he's coming from, but I want to hear what he has to say here. So let's hear his double drops here, 5 and 5.
The first one said, imagine if we kept Collins and we move him to guard. Upgrade there over Williams. Draft Linderbaum, and that's an upgrade at center. Steal to tackle, and then boom, the O-line is hugely improved.
That's a course of action that we all could get behind. The problem is, who was not behind that? The Dallas Cowboys.
Well, also, I will say this, though. La'el Collins had no interest in moving to guard.
Well, yeah, sometimes it's not his choice.
Ever since he got moved to tackle, he wanted to stay there. And we also heard, back when he got his contract, one of the reasons he wanted to stay at tackle is because he wanted more money. So... you want to get mad at anyone, be mad at the Cowboys and La'el Collins collectively, who both decided it was a great idea to move to tackle and then stay there.
Yeah, all right.
Right?
Fair enough.
So,
but I
also remember that the Cowboys, at least for them, like once he was a tackle, he was a tackle. There was no consideration of moving him back at guard, because look at how we worked Zach Martin, in the sense of like we used him at tackle that one game because we absolutely fucking had to, but the Cowboys made it clear that they're never doing that again, and
the
they don't want to do
Cowboys played
that
with it last year to threaten Connor McGovern and Connor Williams, but they were trying to also threaten La'el Collins, and whether he didn't want to do it or he wasn't able to do it or they didn't want him to do it, because I think this is a Cowboy mindset from maybe even the front office not to move him back. Then I think the Cowboys, I think that La'el Collins, this process of going through that direction, like Mark Hoskins said, like let's rearrange these guys and move. Cowboys were done playing. They were never going to do that. And they never were planning to do that.
At least in that side of things.
Whether it's good or bad. I might agree with Mark, but the Cowboys, I knew was just never going to do it. What else did he say? Yes.
But he also said that Tyler's an upgrade in the run game, but he's more prone to penalties, which was Williams' huge issue, and not good at pass protection. Ridgeway will help. Right. So
Ridgeway will help. But we're all loving that Ridgeway pick, and I'm hyped up. That's like probably the happiest pick of the draft.
One of the best values of the
yes,
draft.
for sure. It was our last 5th rounder that we had. But
so practically a 6th round
pick.
But
the first part of that, about the upgrade in the running game when it comes to, again, I think the Cowboys are going to try to go more running game. Remember, we're going to have 12 personnel so we can just show the run and then sometimes throw to the tight ends. Like Ferguson, like Schultz, of course.
Yeah, the Cowboys are doing this, obviously, yes, pass protection is very important, but they feel that they can develop him enough there to improve, but they obviously have plans to be more of a run first team.
He can't come off the field when we're going to pass, obviously. We know that. But my point is that he needs to, I think someone like Tyler Smith has to, when he gets his footwork down, which that's what worries me, that's where his penalties will go down. I think that's when his pass protection will get better. But I agree. That's still, to me, we're not saving the $40 million man yet. We're just helping him by maybe establishing the run. But what it all comes down to in the end is the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. Because if he wants to throw Reed down, we're going to get Dak killed. We're going to get him killed. Because that guy, he can, and again, Connor Williams was, guys, how many times has Connor Williams pushed back in Dak's throwing space? 5 times a game, plus a couple penalties. I'm just saying, I can't see this guy being worse than Connor Williams. I just can't. And in the run game, we know, even though Zeke had good yards behind Connor Williams, because they powered up Zach Martin's side of the line. I think that Tyler Smith is going to make the running game a necessity. That's what I'm hoping for. It's going to force the Cowboys to say, we cannot throw with Tyler Smith. We have to run the damn ball. They have to run now. And when they run, they'll say, damn, we're getting 5 yards a pop. Let's keep running. Mark drops another 5 on it.
So he said that the wide receiver is not better than Cedric.
No,
a starter as in a third wide receiver, sure, but do teams have to plan for any of these players?
No.
Hell no, and that's why this is a D.
Okay, so, I got you. I got him.
I will say one thing, though. No one planned for Cedric Wilson until he
played better.
Started playing. So, no one's planning for him now. Maybe they'll plan for him in the future, but you're right. Not at the same level that they would have been planning right now in this moment.
Right,
Cedric Wilson. That's undeniable.
And that's why I agree with Mark about this. This draft was a D for him, a C for me, a B for you. But the point is, we're not. No matter where it is, we're not better than we were before this offseason hit. And that's just the way it is. Again, whether you like the Mari or not, or Lyle Collins or Cedric Wilson. I agree with Mark.
Shell Jones said, I think they really just want to be good enough to stay relevant and compete, but I don't think they really want to contend.
That's one of the.
That's what it feels like. We're staying in the mix, but we're not really trying to push to be that.
I talked about this the other day. That one of the top things the Cowboys have in their there's 4 things they said. I forgot. They're 4 pillars or whatever. One of the pillars is competitiveness. It was like a business thing. It's all about money making, but that's what the Cowboys like their, I don't know what you'd call it. I guess their quote or whatever. I don't know. The pillars they live by, their mantra, and one of those things.
Philosophies.
One of those competitiveness. Just stay competitive enough. It's what it feels like to me. The Cowboys are, and just keep doing enough. If you do better, great. But if you just do enough, at least do enough, you're bringing in money to Jerry Jones.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys later tonight, though, because I am going to pass out on stream. We don't
awesome.
eat in the next.
Let's stay live. No, guys, here on camera, we're going off. So peace. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tonight.
Yeah, we'll be back later tonight. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's, we're not done. We just gotta let it percolate, right? Let all of Cowboy Nation absorb this. Think about it. Maybe do some research. Look into it too. I know that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Well, we're gonna eat and then start looking into this though, because but we're definitely gonna be looking into.
Yes. No. Before we go live again tonight, I do want. Listen, tomorrow. I'm not even gonna go that deep tonight. I'm just gonna do some basic stuff. But tomorrow, I'm going to project a lot deeper dive on this. Tonight's just going to be a quick overview. I want to hear what you guys. It's going to be a fun kind of stream, and we'll just kind of get all our thoughts out there. We'll discuss it. Yeah. We'll get some info. You guys get info. We'll meet back here late tonight, and we'll chill out and chat. But then tomorrow will be the finale of the week, crowning champions and all that good stuff. But also it will be very important to note, what are we going to get from this draft class? What are we expecting from this draft class? Is it a low-key rebuild? Is
it just a backup, like a supplement? This felt almost like a supplemental draft in the sense of, like you said, we didn't get any like obvious major starting players. We got a lot of supporting role players that are going to be helping to elevate the rest of these guys that we have on the team. At least, that's my interpretation.
We got guys out of here that were big time players, and we moved in role players.
Yeah, I know,